All right, hopefully we are live now. Just going to take a moment to get all of my settings in order here. But welcome, especially anyone who is watching this after the fact. If anyone is here already, please do go ahead and just drop any message into the chat so that I know that everything is all hooked up okay. And let me send a shout out in my Discord. If you're not part of the Discord, you can join using the link in the description. Just let everybody know. Just went live. And we'll be drafting some Bloomburrow, which is about to leave Flashback Draft. So this is a rare opportunity to draft Bloomburrow before it leaves Arena. Welcome. We will be jumping in shortly. I also am, unfortunately, a little bit sick today, which is definitely has been affecting my draft strength. I recorded one draft earlier today, and it was not my greatest result, let's say. But hopefully, lots of opportunity to have a lot of fun. Okay, just went live. We'll be doing 1 to 2 Bloomburrow drafts. All right, there we go. Axel, welcome. Thanks so much for being the guinea pig as I get my settings set up, make my announcement. Very cool. Good to see you again. You were, seemed like you were out of town for a bit or something, or not around, I think you mentioned. So welcome back. Good to see you. All right. Yeah, I definitely have like a certain amount of head fog today. Unfortunately. It has been a bit of a struggle. Took the day off work, but that was kind of good because it meant that I could, like, you know, I mean, good for this purpose because I'm more rested up than I would have been if I worked a full day. Hopefully, whenever it takes like a good while here finding a draft table, I always hope that there's like another nearly full draft table that they're deciding whether or not to merge you with. So sometimes like 6 people all get populated at once. So let's optimistically hope that that's happening here. The only thing that I can't get set up in my broadcaster is I used to have the chat like in the broadcaster zone, but now I only see it on the like YouTube area, but that's probably okay. Unless the reason, oh no, my video froze. Unless the reason that I'm not seeing a draft table is because my internet connection went down. That would be the greatest, the worst of all time. But no, I think it looks okay. All right, waiting for 4 draft viewers. Has everyone else been drafting a bunch of Bloomburrow? I absolutely love this format, but I also know that when something comes on Flashback, it can be like really hard to jump in and feel like you're prepared, right? Because everybody else was drafting it except you. It kind of feels that way though. I actually think a lot of people are drafting Bloomburrow on Flashback without having drafted it before. For me, that experience is going to happen when we get Neo. In like 2 weeks, there's going to be Neon Kamigawa, which is like a... It's supposed to be a greatest of all time format, but it's from right before I started drafting again. I really came back to draft with like Brothers War, March of Machines, you know, that kind of era. And Neo was like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 sets before that. So it was like right before I really got back into things. And so I'm actually really looking forward to experimenting with it. So that's going to be on Flashback after Foundations, right before Strixhaven drops. So I'm really looking forward to drafting that with like my contemporary, you know, my contemporary draft brain, because the only times I drafted it was like when it was a semi-old set, like a year after it came out or something. Everyone I drafted it with was way better at it than I am. So maybe I'll have the same experience when it comes on Flashback of trying to figure out what the heck is good in that set. And it's supposed to be a greatest of all time, so I'm really excited for it. All right, so Thundertrap Trainer is a super fun card. When it enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them and put it into your hand. So the main use case would be instant or sorcery. And then you put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And because it has Offspring, if you do this for 6 mana, you get to do it twice. So this can be a 2-drop. And remember, in Bloomburrow, it's all about the extra value while you affect the board, right? You can't just be playing too many cards that, like a 2-mana sorcery that had this effect would be probably completely unplayable. But because it is technically a 2-drop, you can kind of get away with it. It's not a bomb by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely the kind of card that I like. Otherwise, there wasn't that much that was too impressive in there. Oh, what do you do again? Right, whenever you cast a creature spell, I think this card was really hard to build around. This was like ultra hard mode. But really happy to see something like that. This on the last day of Bloomburrow. When you cast a creature spell with mana value 4 or greater, draw a card, gain 1 life, and put a +1/+1 counter on it. Tap, add X mana of any one color where X is its power, and spend this mana only to ramp into cards with mana value 4 or greater, or cards with X in their mana cost. Interesting. So if this was day 2 of the Arena Open and you're looking for, as much win equity as you can possibly get out of the cards, then definitely I would be taking something like Baker's Bane Duo, probably something like that. Maybe would want to have set myself up to be taking one of the signposts on commons, but here I'm definitely all over this Helga. I mean, look, this is one of our last opportunities to play Bloomburrow until who knows how long, until this thing comes back out on Flashback Draft. And this is just a super sweet mythic rare that I can try to figure out how it works. So I'm going to go for that. This does definitely mean that I'm going to need to be, if I'm playing this, we have no idea if I'll end up in this, if Sultai will actually be open. There's going to be a lot of requirements for us to actually manage to make this happen. But if we do, then we're going to probably want to be sort of green-based splashing, like green-based splashing into blue or splashing into black. This Wix Patrol is already a signal in pick 3. I would very happily pack 1, pick 1 of Wix Patrol. So the fact that it made it through 2 different packs on its way to us means that, it at least is our first signal of the whole draft that maybe black is going to be uncontested from the right. So I'm going to happily take that. And then we could end up, again, we would probably want green to be a primary color. It's a little bit awkward to splash into green, although of course you can do it. It's not like all of the mana fixing is in green. But yeah, then we'd probably want to invest in green as a primary color. And you also don't really want to be splashing Wix Patrol because it has a double black cost. Note that in this pack, I mean, Jolly Gerbils, Seasoned Warren Guards, there's some little bunny mice kind of stuff flying around. So definitely something for us to take note of here. Am I entering the direct? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I totally fell on my face the last time there was a Bloomburrow Arena Direct. I went like 0-6 or 0-7 or something. So I'm not going to, sink too many gems into this, but that's definitely where I definitely have the ambition of making up for those losses back in the day. And to me, like, I love the vibe of Bloomburrow, and my partner and I actually have like collected a bunch of the Bloomburrow cards, and so to me, having like a bunch of Japanese cards to supplement that collection would be totally awesome. Here, I'm between Baker's Bane Duo and Daring Wave Rider. Daring Wave Rider is actually super powerful. One of the few 6-drops that you really do want to be playing. Also, Rabid Gnaw. I mean, the Arena Auto Highlighter is not wrong. Rabid Gnaw is a really good card, but I think Baker's Bane Duo is super good. And I mean, we haven't really gotten the only signals we've gotten so far. I mean, maybe Rabid Gnaw begins to be a signal because it's so powerful, but I guess maybe like speculating that Mice is kind of uncontested from the right would not be wrong, but we really don't have that much evidence so far. So I'm just trying to take the best cards with a slight bias to playing around the fun mythic rare in my last draft, right? Okay, so here we have a really interesting choice. Galewind Moose is so strong. A 6/6 flash, vigilance, reach, trample. This card is kind of like, what can't it do, This card comes out of nowhere and just absolutely takes over pretty much any game that it gets cast in. So I'm inclined to take it. There is also a Ruthless Negotiation, which is a fantastic card, kind of a 2 for 0. And then Longstalk Brawl is a very good removal spell in this format. But I'm all over this Galewind Moose. Oh my goodness. Well, as much as I want to be in the Sultai value mythic rare build around space, I don't think I can say no to a Harvest Right host. I already have a Baker's Bane Duo and a Galewind Moose, so if we ended up green-white, that would be perfectly fine. And this card can just go absolutely off. It does require some building around, but it's a 3/3 for 3. When this creature or another rabbit you control enters, target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn, And if this is the second time that this has resolved this turn, you draw a card. That is basically giving every other rabbit you control when it enters draw a card. Having this in the pack plus Warren Elder plus Tree Guard duo definitely suggests to me that green-white is an open lane, although I will say the Glide Dive duo is also pretty compelling, and that Wix Patrol was a signal for us back a few packs ago. So I'm not gonna, go all the way swiveling over to green-white in a hurry, but definitely it could be a legitimate lane for us here. I do think that Cash Grab is one of the very best commons in the format. I keep picking Cash Grab and then having nothing that goes with it, but if we're green-black, if green-black is still a path that we'll take, then that is the Squirrels deck. And it turns out in the last few sets, 2 mana at instant speed, get the best card out of the top 4 and a little bit extra. That has turned out to be pretty good. And Cash Grab is like one of the premier awesome versions of it. So it goes so well with Baker's Bane duo, for example. You're gonna get the extra food if you have a Baker's Bane duo or if you pull back a Baker's Bane duo with it. And here I'm really thinking green-black is an open lane. Like, I like the Bonecash Overseer. It is a little finicky. It takes some setting up, but if, just a 1-drop that has a high ceiling, it's just a good thing to have in Bloomburrow. It's very possible Cash Grab is just better. Again, if this were day 2 of the Arena Open with $2,000 on the line, yeah, maybe I would be taking the Cash Grab here. And Sticky Tongue Sentinel is also totally solid. But I think the Bonecash Overseer has such a huge upside. Wow, I mean, I really do want this Sticky Tongue Sentinel, but I can hardly say no to double Bonecash Overseer and try to build around that. It doesn't really go with Helga, so we kind of have 2 competing build around options. But you know what? It's just too sweet, like the idea of drawing, like making food and drawing cards. If I do go in the Sultai direction, I actually absolutely can use this Mind Spiral. I could totally be splashing blue in the end. Maybe blue is even a main color, although that's looking less likely with all the Cash Grabs and Bonecash Overseers flying around the table. Here I'll take Dazzling Denial. It's definitely awkward if blue is on the splash, but it's just so much better than Sky Skipper Duo. 3/3 for 5 is not really what you want to be playing in Bloomburrow. Here I'll take a Thought Chucker just because it's more in my colors. Both of these cards are not very good. I would say Steam Path Charger is better than the Thought Chucker. I pretty much never want to be playing Thought Chucker, but hey, Junkblade Bruiser, and look at that. That goes together with Helga. That's a 4-cost card in our colors that can be Helga'd out. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, maybe I will try to do this Helga thing after all. Okay, I love Mockingbird. This is one of the coolest cards in this set. This card was pretty good in Standard for a while even. So interesting, quirky little card. If you haven't seen this before, 1/1 flying for X and a blue, and then it enters as a copy of any creature with mana value less than or equal to the mana spent to cast this creature, except this thing keeps flying. So the thing about this that's tricky is it's not mana value less than or equal to X. It's the total mana value spent for it. So if X is 0, I can copy a 1-drop, like I could copy my Bonecash Overseer. If X is 2, I could copy my Baker's Bane duo, so this actually keeps, it's really good because you're not trading down on mana. It keeps the mana value that was sunk into it. If I pay 6 for it, I get a Galewind Moose. I don't have to pay 7 to copy Galewind Moose. And it also has flying. Copying the best thing on the board is usually an ability that you can make pretty good in Limited. It's not automatically good, but usually you can make it pretty good. Oh my goodness, what a choice. What do I even do here? This is really hard. So Zoraline is a super strong card. Interestingly, I do want, Helga's going to be a tough one to splash if I'm green-black, isn't it? But there's something here. Could I do a 4-color Zoraline Helga deck? Zoraline is one of the most powerful cards in the format. When it enters or attacks, you can pay a white and a black and gain 2. When you do, you return a non-land permanent with a mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. When a bat you control attacks, you gain 1 life, and this thing has vigilance. It's just really good rate. So the other option is Shoreline Looter, which is an absolutely unbelievably good card. I think I'm going to go for the Shoreline Looter. My inclination is, of course, to go for it and just try to do the most sickeningly good thing that I can. Because, I love value. I love splashing. I'm Unlimited Splash after all. So I want to go. Yeah, I am Unlimited Splash. That's right, Axel. I want to take the Zoraline, but I think we're already really pushing the boundaries of our mana base. Look at this. The double green, double black, blue, white. I mean, 2 black, 1 drop, some random white card. To be quite honest, I think Discretion is a better card of splash. It's a better part of splashing, as I always say. And I think this is a situation where we just need to pass on the Zoraline. If we get fixing this pack, then maybe we can go for Zoraline. However, we just got rewarded with a Camellia. So I really do want to go Sultai now. I'm going to take this Camellia, absolutely incredible card. It is a 3/3 for 3 menace other squirrels you control have menace when you sacrifice one or more foods and make a 1/1 green squirrel token. So basically now I'm probably leaning towards, I would say we haven't actually even seen that much good green, and the fixing is also not looking that great. So I'm going to say we're actually most likely, it's kind of awkward. Like Helga might not be making the cut. We'll see. Valley Flood Caller, you can cast, I don't think his card is good. 2/2 for 3 is already not very good in the set. You can cast non-creature spells as though they had flash. When you cast a non-creature spell, creature types that touch blue get +1/+1 and untap them. I even tried to like do a build around here of that card. I even tried to do a build around in a previous video, and it was like impossible to figure out how to do that. Here we have a really interesting choice. It's between Uncharted Haven and Ruthless Negotiation. I think most likely situation right now is we're not even green. Most likely situation is probably blue, black, and then maybe I splash for Camellia or something. This Harvest Right Host is out of the conversation. And I don't think Helga's, I mean, actually I don't have that many pulls into black either, do I? But between Camellia, Double Bone Cache Overseer, Wix Patrol, maybe I take the Uncharted Haven just to make my life a little bit easier in the future. Probably this is the moment to start investing and fixing, because I have so much power across so many colors. Like I could take Polywallop, for example, but let's just take the Fountain Port Bell and just make it possible for us to lean in a 3-color direction. One interesting thing about the fixing in Bloomburrow is that a lot of it is not that committal to one color. You don't necessarily need to choose a color in advance. There's a lot of mana filtering going on in the set, or tap to add 1 mana of any color. But both of these two are committal to one color. Uncharted Haven, I have to pick the color when I play it. Fountain Port Bell, I have to choose the land when I play it that I'm going to get. And so, you know, that can be a bit of a limitation when you're trying to splash into something like Helga. However, now we've just opened Clement. Importantly, this guy is not splashing. This guy does not fix your mana. It only adds green or blue mana, but it is ramp, and ramp sounds pretty good. I already have a lot of power packed into my deck, so I just want to take creatures, reasonably responsible cards, settle on a color combination that makes some sense, and then have enough fixing to be able to play some of that power that we have already put into our pool. Here, I'm between Calamitous Tide and Bushy Bodyguard, and again, you really have to stay disciplined in Bloomburrow. When you're messing around to the extent that I'm messing around right now, you have to put 2 drops, creatures, cards that really interact with and affect the board into your deck. And here it's interesting. I could go for Cash Grab, but I think Splash Lasher rises to the level of power where it's worth taking. It is a card that has a major effect on the board. It's very, I mean, one thing about Cash Grab is it kind of is mana fixing in a certain way, but I think we could risk going too far in the direction of cards that don't really affect the board. But now we have a very clear direction, don't we? I really feel much clearer on where I'm headed with this deck. I guess I want to take the card that, like, if I can pass this and put someone in Otters, that's good, right? So maybe I'll take the Crumbing Get It out of this pack. I don't know. I'm not touching any of those colors. Here, I guess I'll take a Gossip's Talent. None of these cards are playable. In a Mind Spiral, I don't think I get to play 2 Mind Spirals, but that is in principle a playable card. We opened a very, very strong rare, but not in our colors. I don't even think I get to play Helga, let alone the double white splash. But what does it do? 3/4 for 4. When it becomes a target of a spell or ability, it's also a build around in that sense that you have to be able to target it, right? So you reveal a creature card with mana value 3 or less, put it onto the battlefield, or put it into your hand, etc. Okay. Now, I think it's very clear what we have to do, which is just take the Lily Splash Mentor. There's no fixing in this pack, so I'm happy to take a card for power. It really seemed that blue and green were the most open colors. Also, incidentally, the colors that I tend to gravitate towards, but I think any fair observer would say that blue-green was the most open when we especially were like wheeling a Lily Splash Mentor. So I will be very happily taking, wheeling a Clement, nearly wheeling. So I'll be very happily taking a Lily Splash Mentor, and the idea is I have enough card selection and enough, and sorry, I know that my video is now covering everything, just organizing my cards a little bit. I have enough fixing and enough card selection that hopefully we do get to run some of this black, especially splashing Camellia would be good if we have any frogs. And look at that, a 2-drop that fixes you. As much as I love Rudy Tooty, the 3-tree Root Weaver, having a Tender Wild Guide is really good. I'm going to miss the 3 toughness that 3-tree Root Weaver comes with, but hey, this guy can Offspring and give you an extra tap to add 1 mana of any color. I recall, by the way, I have 6 squirrels, just something I'm noting for Camellia purposes. I recall it being especially good in Sealed, actually. This card can just take over the game in Sealed. If you get this in your Arena Direct box, your Arena Direct pool, I would say, it's probably better in Sealed than it is in Draft. I haven't looked at the data on that, but I remember this card, it can just grow over the course of the game if it doesn't eat a removal spell. Here I'm going to very happily take a Pawn Prophet. I have the Clement and I have the Lily Spotch Mentor, so it seems like what we want here. I'll definitely be playing this cash grab. Mockingbird, probably let's call it something like a 4-drop. We have Uncharted Haven and Fountainport Bell. So honestly, because Helga is only on a single splash, I think we can splash it. No way are we playing the Daggerfang duo. Probably we're not playing any of the black cards, basically. Now, of course, watch black be open from the right, but that's only natural. We really moved away from black because it was cut from the left, so we should expect to see it being open from the right. This rare is not actually good, I don't think. A very, very conditional card. Another Bone Cache Overseer is kind of funny. We could have had a pretty sickening Squirrels deck, actually. I guess maybe there's a world where we get past so much Squirrels that I still go back in that direction because I'm not playing the Mind Spiral. But I'm not counting on that. I don't really think that that's going to happen. This is effectively a 4-drop because I would most want to play this on turn 4. I'll count this as a 2-drop, but we should shade a little bit higher in our estimation of what our curve looks like because this is a 2-drop that can be played as a 4-drop. Here it's between Baker's Bane Duo and Sticky Tongue Sentinel. I do think the Baker's Bane Duo is better, but with an eye on my curve, I'm going to take the Sticky Tongue Sentinel. It can also do some kind of cool stuff like, I don't know, bounce a Fountainport Bell, bounce your 4-drop to get another Helga trigger out of it. I would like one more bit of mana fixing because currently I only have 2. Oh no, I actually have 3 ways to make a white pip and technically 3 ways to make a green pip. I guess I'll take Into the Floodmaw. This is not really where I want to be, but I don't really see any other cards in the pack. We are slightly underplayables because we spent so long trying to figure out our colors. I've been very disappointed with Otterball Antics. I might just take a high stride here. I wanted to like the Otterball Antics, I really did. But I think let's just take the high stride and survive some combats. Oh my goodness. We just got an 8th pick Galewind Moose, 1 pick before the wheel. Sorry, I must drink tea. I am sick today for those of you who are just joining. So trying to hang in there for at least 1 draft, hopefully 2, but I'm a little bit diminished from my usual self. I have to admit that. But I'll definitely take a Sticky Tongue Sentinel. It can do cool stuff like turn 2 Thunder Trap Trainer, pull one of these non-creature spells off the top, and then turn 3 Sticky Tongue Sentinel, bounce a Thunder Trap Trainer. You can bounce a Fountainport Bell. You can bounce a Pawn Prophet, and getting the second Pawn Prophet definitely feels good there. I probably don't play Into the Floodmaw. I don't know. What do you all think? Is Into the Floodmaw good? It sometimes is a nice tempo play against me. And then last pick 2 Squirrels. Yeah, Squirrels was open at this table to some extent, but really pack 2 was when we just got absolutely flooded with blue cards and absolutely no black cards. Okay, so yeah, what do you think about Into the Floodmaw though? So gift a tap fish, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand, and if the gift was promised, instead return a non-land permanent an opponent controls to its owner's hand. So it's a very dedicated tempo play, a 1 blue instant. I would say we're not playing that heavy a tempo deck. I'm happy to be playing the Mind Spiral. I don't think I play 2 Mind Spirals. You really need to be mindful of how much you affect the board. I'd much rather be drawing cards by playing Pawn Prophet and then looping them with Sticky Tongue Sentinels, Lily Spotch Mentors, Clements, that kind of a thing. I do need 1 Swamp and 1 Plains in order to do these 2 splashes. I do have, I'm down to 4 Squirrels. So maybe Camellia is just not worth it, to be quite honest. It's a really good card, but without the triple Squirrels of the Bone Cache Overseers, I don't think Camellia is worth the pain of the splash. So instead, we're just going to be building around Helga. I actually would do it if I had 3 ways of flickering that didn't, or 3 ways of filtering that didn't affect my mana base. But unfortunately, the Fountainport Bell requires that you have a basic land to find. So now we're looking at 15, 16, 17 with 1 Plains for Helga. Helga has 1, 2, yeah, it has 5 creatures. I don't want to distort my curve that much for Helga. I think 5 creatures is probably enough as a payoff for her. Yeah, what am I leaving in the sideboard? I mean, sad to leave Camellia behind, but That's how it goes. I mean, look, I had 4 squirrels in black that I don't really have enough fixing to play. You would need like 8+ pieces of fixing to be playing that much black. So, okay, pretty interesting deck. This is going to be a nice one. Oh, maybe I don't play cash grab if I don't have any squirrels, though. No, I have pretty good amounts of ways of making food, don't I? I mean, actually, is Camellia still worth it? Because between cash grab, the double bushy bodyguards, and Baker's Bane duo, maybe I should have taken that other Baker's Bane duo. Kind of awkward to end up between creature types here. 1, 2, 3, only 3 squirrels. I guess Mockingbird can copy a squirrel. It is a lot of power. No, I shouldn't distort my mana base like that. But then maybe instead of cash grab, I play what? Meme it out with Gossip's Talent. I don't know, maybe Mind Spiral. Maybe I do play the second Mind Spiral instead of cash grab. It kind of feels like a better version of the effect. Yeah. I mean, 2 Mind Spirals I'm not thrilled to be playing. I might go down to 1 game 2, but all right. Definitely a going for it deck. Definitely a meme deck. This was very much just trying to squeeze some extra sweetness out of the end of this draft format. But look at that, never punished. Just getting perfect mana from the beginning. And we have our Wombo combo. This is pretty awesome. Check this out. Okay, I really hope that this happens. This is pretty exciting. I'm too sick to show my true enthusiasm for what's about to go down. I do Fountainport Bell. I'm absolutely going to take, it should be another green because I want to hit my Galewind Mooses, right? And my Junkblade Bruiser. So double green is what I want. Put that on top. Turn 2, Thundertrap Trainer. Turn 3, bounce the Thundertrap Trainer with the Sticky Tongue Sentinel. Turn 4, play the Thunder... Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, turn 4, recast the Thundertrap Trainer unless I have something better to do. So I'll play my Forest because that's my primary color. This is too awesome. Oh, but my opponent's awesome, though. My opponent's a gamer. No. Total whiff on the Thundertrap Trainer. Well, hey, we have some more casts where that came from, don't we? The fact that they're playing 3-tree Rootweaver scares me because that means they're a person of taste and discernment. No, why would you do it to me? Oh, that's so brutal. Into a Vinery Mentor? Yeah, this might be a quick game. This might be a quick game. My opponent had the answer to what we were trying to do. That makes me so sad. I could bounce Fountainport Bell and get another land. That does not sound appealing to me. I don't have any non-creature spell triggers. Dang. Thundertrap Trainer whiffing into them savoring the Thundertrap Trainer. That's a bad beat right there. If they attack... Okay, they didn't attack. I probably would have blocked. I think let's start with tap a green and crack the bell. Just get a card out of this. They don't have counter mana or anything. High Stride, interesting. Let's see. I could make my own Vinery Mentor. Is that appealing to me? 3/2 flying and I hold up High Stride? Yeah, I don't hate it, actually. I mean, the main reason that I'm doing this is I don't think I'm supposed to save my resources because I have double Mind Spiral. In the long run, I should be perfectly fine. And then I'm going to play this High Stride defensively. The thing is, I'm not under any pressure to attack, actually, with double Mind Spiral. I kind of want the game to go longer, not shorter. Oh, Salvation Swan, that's such a good one. So you flicker your Vinery Mentor, get another food, and make it fly. The thing about it is, if I attack, it clearly reflects that I am holding an extra High Stride. Or that I'm holding a Combat Strict, aka holding High Stride. All right, what have we got? What have we got? So this is going to come back, and it's going to have some flying counter on it, and you're going to destroy target food token, I suppose. Okay, no, put it plus... Oh, okay, all right, so we may be about to eat a swan. Interesting, they don't mind being double blocked. Yeah, let's just do it this way. So +1/+3 would make this a 4/5. Now I'll do it on this one. I'm a little bit too sick to do very sophisticated mathematics at this point. So this guy comes back as a flyer. We're not lost. We're not lost. I'll put it that way. So I'll go ahead and play a forest, and then do I want to stun down their Hivespine Wolverine? I think I don't really care about them having a fish, so sure. I will draw 3 cards, please. I will stun down your Wolverine. All right, Helga, let's go. Now, do I attack? No, I still don't really want to attack. I don't really know what I'm waiting for, but I'm waiting for something. I mean, you know, I'm about to play a Helga. Pawn Prophet or maybe Tender Wild Guide. I really want to actually ramp my Tender Wild Guide, so, or offspring my Tender Wild Guide rather, for optimal ramp. So here I'll gladly just block with my Vine Reap Mentor. Yeah, I think the extra toughness on the Sticky Tongue Sentinel really matters. If they want to use a combat trick here, I really don't care. That's perfectly fine. I get a food out of the bargain and I still have my Sticky Tongue Sentinel, so it's not like I'm dying to that thing or anything. I would love to draw a land. That would be amazing. Because then I could offspring my Tender Wild Guide and also play Pond Prophet. No. Okay, maybe I will go for the Pawn Prophet first in the hopes of hitting a land here. I think that would be really good. I would love to hit a land and offspring this guy. If not, I can just play Helga. Oh my goodness. Well, that's not so bad, right? Because getting a 4-drop for Helga is really nice. And it's not like I'm under severe pressure. They have 1 card in hand. They have a pretty good board presence, but nothing crushing. I'm still at my starting life total. Not quite anymore, but pretty close. In comes Vine Reap Mentor. I'll just take that. If you're not attacking with Hivespine Wolverine, I'm happy. Okay, they are attacking with Hivespine Wolverine. So do I double block? I think the answer is just no, right? I think I probably take the damage. Like, oh, you know what I do? I'm just going to block the Vine Reap Mentor. Because I have another Sticky Tongue Sentinel to block the Glide Dive duo with, but I do need to take care of their flyers. And I think I want to not take 8 damage here. That sounds pretty risky. Need to keep some eye on my life total. Okay, very nice. So where X is its power, I don't have any way of increasing its power, do I? But draw a card, gain 1 life, and put a counter on it is pretty appealing. So, okay, I'm going to tap Helga. So basically the idea is, this is a part when I'm recording where I pause so you don't have to watch me painstakingly think, especially with my fever-addled brain. But basically what I would do is tap the Helga to add a green, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I get Junkblade Bruiser, and then I also get a 2-drop. I'm taking damage from the Glide Dive duo, but that's fine, and they have to draw something to kill my Junkblade Bruiser, so everything here checks out to me. This all seems worth it. So tap the white, because I have nothing more that demands white, tap the blue, because I have another blue in my hand, drop the Junkblade Bruiser, gain 1 draw card. At least I'm getting some life back, that's really nice. And then Helga gets that much better. Oh, actually, do I want to hold up for Dazzling Denial? Well, I don't have a bird, so the only thing it could counter would be 1, 2, 3, something with mana value. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 mana at their disposal. So if they draw like a Galewind Moose, then, you know, I'm looking like a fool for tapping down here. But it also doesn't telegraph the counterspell because I have my food up. So if I leave 2 mana up, it could just look like I'm saving up for food, right? So pretty sure I hold back. I don't know. What does everyone think? I think I'm going to hold up the Dazzling Denial rather than playing a Baker's Bane duo here. But I'm not 100% on that decision. The Junkblade Bruiser should hold back everything that is not a Hivespine Wolverine and just trade with that guy. I will trade it. I have no objection to trading it. You know what? No. What are you going to top deck? I dare you to top deck a Galewind Moose. Don't do it, but I dare you to do it. But don't do it. I think it's too passive. Okay, yeah, I think it's too passive to hold back for the Dazzling Denial. It's like you could still play a 4-drop and I wouldn't be able to counter it. That would be pretty bad. Oh, you bring back your Vine Reap Mentor. That's fine. I still wouldn't have been able to counter it because I have no birds. So that's fine. Now, if they attack with Hivespine Wolverine, I do block. I'm going to block it. That Junkblade Bruiser is not the most incredible card. Okay, so they want this in the bin so they can bring back Salvation Swan or something. No, I'm just going to block here, keep my Baker's Bane duo probably. And then I have a 3/3. What's going to block the Bonebind Orator? I'm not entirely certain. Maybe Helga. I guess I can Mind Spiral off of Helga. That's pretty good, right? Mind Spiral off of Helga, tapping down Bonebind Orator. Do I like that? Or do I just want to develop my board? This got really complicated. I love how complicated this got. But I actually really want to do this because gain 1 matters, draw a card matters. Spend it only to cast creature spells. Oh no, it's creature spells. But okay, Helga only triggers off creature spells, not Mind Spiral. Okay, that simplifies the decision. So I can go Clement, Bouncing Pawn Prophet or whatever. I think I want to do Tender Wild Guide. The only issue with that is I don't have enough mana to also play my Sticky Tongue Sentinel, which is pretty darn bad, isn't it? Also with the Sticky Tongue Sentinel, I might be more inclined to bounce a Baker's Bane duo. However, I think I really want to land this card. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I can also play Clement plus Sticky Tongue Sentinel. That's just too sweet. That's just too good. So let's play Clement and Sticky Tongue Sentinel. Hold back Helga as a blocker. You know, if I game this outright, I can block their Bonebind Orator, and then I can counter whatever they bring back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but that's going to be next turn. So we don't have to worry about that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, but not bounce anything. We just don't have to worry about that right now. The Sticky Tongue Sentinel is going to block the Glide Dive duo. Do I bounce my Pond Prophet? I feel like, am I going to be getting it into combat? I really don't want to. So I think I do, even though mana is my problem. I would say I do. Oh, could I have generated an extra mana? Maybe I didn't think about that. I haven't played a land this turn, so I could have gone 1, 2, 3, bounce the land, play the land, and Offspring the Tenderwild Guide. That would have been another line that doesn't involve playing Clement. But I like having 2 3/3s here. So what I'm going to do here is, my opponent is really happy. Oh, Binary Mentor would be a really wild attack, because I would just block that with Helga. Basically, my opponent is happy to try to bring back their Salvation Swan in this situation. My hope is 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't quite counter it, so this is slightly magical thinking. But my hope is somehow they'll tap a little bit too much, and I'll get to just counter the Salvation Swan. But I can't be taking the Glide Dive duo in the air every turn, so I pretty much had to do that. You like that the food can be a decoy for Dazzling Denial? Yeah, that's pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet. I like my opponent's sleeves. It looks kind of horrifying. Okay, you're gonna bring back your Salvation Swan. You can't play it right now, though. You're 1 mana short. So, I wish I could have a bird somehow. I don't think I have a single bird in my deck as far as I can remember. Oh no, Mockingbird, if I'd kept that around. Oh, hey, Reach. Reach is really good. So maybe I just play the Lily Splash Mentor. It's so awkward that I can't... oh, are you a frog? Yeah, you are. So you can actually play a creature. It's so awkward that I keep being unable to, like, empty my hand. I could just play the Tender Wild Guide. I don't necessarily need the Lily Splash Mentor right now. So yeah, this is the turn when I go for building up my board a little bit. I could technically also attack with Clement if I want to. Ooh. I'm too sick for this. I have no idea what's going on. So I can tap these two and play a Pawn Prophet or a Baker's Bane duo. Honestly, oh, I can tap Helga to add 2 for the Lily Splash Mentor, and then Clement to add 1. And then if I draw land, I still get to play Dazzling Denial. That feels risky. But the fact that I can gain 1 by playing Lily Splash Mentor is a huge game, isn't it? But those are things to be doing next turn. So now the question is, do I tap Helga and also Clement in order to play a Baker's Bane duo? No, I don't think so, because I think Helga is going to be blocking the Vinery Mentor. They were even scared to attack into that last turn. What a complicated game, everyone. This is like, I'm way too sick for this kind of shenanigans. Simic, bouncy, silly shenanigans. So let's hope that they forage, draw card. My dream here is that they forage, draw land, play the land, and then try to resolve the Salvation Swan and I counter it. That is the dream. This is exactly why I was hoping beyond hope that I could get them to spend a bunch of mana on... Okay, it looks like it's working. Okay, all right. That's probably the turnaround that we needed. This is taking all of the brain juice that I have. And then some, and then some. I'm definitely losing the boundaries of what's possible in this game. Okay, I'll tap this to add... This is some unlimited splash stuff, though, don't you think? So add X mana of any one color where X is its power. Okay, I must have activated the Clement side of it. There we go. I want to add a green and sure, any one color. Okay, and then I'll keep some blue back. I don't know how I knew that would happen, but it just somehow did. It just somehow did. Isn't this awesome? Don't you love Bloomburrow? Do I want to bounce something? No way. Oh, maybe I should have played the Pawn Prophet first. I don't think that's that important. I can't attack, right? Classic me not being able to attack. Maybe I just play Mind Spiral. I could play Mind Spiral and tap down their Treetop Sentries and attack. No, I think I want to build my board. So maybe it's Bushy Bodyguard with the Offspring. I can definitely forage and then some. And I'll put 2 counters on it. All right, this is kind of awesome. I get 2 cards that I put 2 counters on. I don't think I have anything that brings things back from the graveyard, so I'll just remove random stuff. I also don't think that there's anything that like removes things from an opponent's graveyard. This is what you tune in to see at Unlimited Splash, isn't it? This is how we play Magic. I don't know how many triggers are going on. I don't know what's happening. I literally have a fever, but I'm not going to play around a board wipe. What's a board wipe? I don't know that. I'll make a food. I'll make another trigger somehow. Let's play another guy. Let's make another trigger. Let's draw a card and more triggers. This is so awesome. So I can't crack a food at this point, but I hopefully will not need to. All right, you are not a board wipe. That makes me happy. There is Season of Loss. And what else? There's a double white board wipe, which they actually could afford between their planes and their 3-tree Root Weaver. Yeah. All right. All right, so you're gonna forage, make a 3-4, which does make it harder, or make a 4-5, which does make it harder for me to attack. All right, am I like almost dead? Almost decked out here? All right, so let's go ahead and I don't need to tap Helga to make this happen, so I'll go ahead and play a Splash Slasher. I will Offspring it. I will expend 4. I will choose to bounce my Pond Prophet. Okay, all right. Our opponent said too much fun. That's too much fun that you're having over there. Okay, I'd say I drafted a pretty fun deck, don't you think? This is a nice worthy send-off to Bloomburrow. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to make it through more than one draft on this live stream, but no, this was a pretty good one. This was a pretty good one. Are there any modifications that we want to make to our deck based on how it played out? Are there any modifications that we want to make? I mean, Gossip's Talent is one of those ultra going for it cards. When a creature enters Surveil 1 that you control, when you attack, you can make something small unblockable. Yeah, I don't really think there's anything. And then you can flicker things. That's kind of cool. But there's also Camellia. I don't think it would have been good in this game, right? So yeah, no, I think we're playing basically the right build. I mean, given the cards that we drafted, I would say there's probably a more winning build in the packs that we saw. Shady is cool. All right, let's go. This seems like a pretty good hand, right? I mean, just start off with a Shoreline Looter. I'm going to play Uncharted Haven for white. If I end up drawing a Galewind Moose, you know, I can always use my Fountain Port Bell to find the second green that I'm going to need. I need to make sure to play the island. Earlier today, when I recorded a video while sick, which is the video that's going to go out tomorrow, you'll see okay, there's the Moose as predicted. You'll see that I was playing the wrong lands all over the place and just costing myself being able to like play out on curve. So, oh, I can also, this is totally sweet, right? I can actually Sticky Tongue Sentinel, bouncing the Uncharted Haven, replay it, and choose a different color, right? So maybe I don't even need this Fountain Port Bell. Let's just get rid of that guy, and I'll go ahead and play the Baker's Bane Duo instead of Sticky Tongue Sentinel. Just, oh, well, there's my other green, so I don't even need to think about that. But I think keeping the Sticky Tongue Sentinel to let me like bounce a Splash Lasher, for example, could be good. I don't know that that's what you really want to be doing, but it feels like Sticky Tongue Sentinel is a card that ages like wine in your hand, and Baker's Bane Duo is not. That's a card you just want to get onto the battlefield. So lock that guy down, in with both. Shoreline Looter is just so cracked. It is out of control. I kind of want the land. I kind of want to just keep accelerating up to Galewind Moose. So it's a little weird to be throwing back a card as good as Sticky Tongue Sentinel, but I think that's the right line. I really want this Shoreline Looter to hit me into to hit them and ramp me into my moose, my days of moose. Okay, I'll go ahead and attack before combat. So they don't have any, or attack before combat. Yeah, brilliant. Attack before I play my lands so that I know what I'm pitching. I actually don't think I need Tender Wild Guide. Maybe I don't need Sticky Tongue Sentinel, actually. I think that's probably the right one. And then I can play this now. Lily Splash Mentor, very awkward card for me to be facing down, but they don't have anything that generates mana with it, so I'm not too concerned about this. Yeah, blame the misplays on the fever, please. Yeah, no, during the video that's going to go out tomorrow, it was an absolute bloodbath. I mean, really, I was feeling worse earlier in the day. I'm actually still not feeling very good, so the fact that I already got a win and drafted such a confusing deck and am somehow keeping my head above water, that makes me feel pretty good. But earlier in the day, it was a struggle even to just like remember what the heck were the cards in my deck. And I drafted one of the most weird decks you've ever seen. I won't spoil it. Just watch tomorrow's video if you want to see just the strangest game plan you've ever seen in a limited deck. It was beyond bizarre. It was beyond bizarre, the plans that I hatched in my feverish state. Okay, going with Shoreline Looter. Basically, I'm just going to try to get them to... Now, they have a pretty fun thing to do where they just get to keep like flickering this Clifftop Lookout. I think I put back Mind Spiral because what could be better than putting down a Galewind Moose and then copying the Galewind Moose with Mockingbird? Sounds like a good way to win. Meanwhile, they're just like ripping every land out of their deck, and it's like awesome game plan versus awesome game plan. So this is an awesome battle. I will say having 5 mana up, it is helpful when you have the Moose to have 5 mana and a Mana Dork. Because at least against me, I don't know if I'm just like a little thick-headed, but at least against me, if I don't see 6 lands in front of you, I'm not thinking about the Moose. If I see 5 lands in a Mana Dork, I'm thinking you have 5 mana, you know, unless I really concentrate. The moment that you hit 6 with 2 green, I'm thinking about the Moose. All right, no, you're a gamer. I mean, this is totally sweet. I love what you're doing here. Fabled Passage, bit of an awkward one to hit. No, I love what you're doing here. This is cool. Just take every land out of your deck. This is so awesome. A Flying Moose. It's Flying Moose time. That's what's happening. All right, well, this could get countered, but I also don't mind just accelerating into like having a million cards in my graveyard. And I can always Mockingbird their Lily Splash Mentor, and then I'm going to start getting value. Okay, it got countered, but look, we have a million good things to do now. End of turn, I'm going to put a counter on this creature. So a little unfortunate, but it's really not a big deal for us because we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Remember, X equals 3 means that I can copy Lily Splash Mentor. The only thing is, yeah, I want to do this before combat because here's what's going to happen. Expend 4, copy Lily Splash Mentor. It has reach and flying because that makes sense. Then I'm going to flicker Splash Lasher, right? I'm going to flicker my Splash Lasher. Oh, this is too cool. Don't you love Bloomburrow? Why don't people like Bloomburrow? This is like the best set they've ever printed. In with Baker's Bane Duo and Shoreline Looter. I'm happy to let them trade Waterspout Warden for Baker's Bane Duo. And Tender Wild Guide is only going to get bigger with time, so I think this is good. And we are going to have to discard a card, but this should be the last card that we have to discard. Goodbye, Island. All right, heck yeah, this is too awesome, right? Now, if they kill my Lily Splash Mentor, I'm kind of sad, but my Splash Lasher has a +1. I'm going to have 2 4/4s next turn. I need to keep on it with the fluid. My brain is not holding up so good, but also my voice is especially not holding up so good. Okay. So they can be flickering their Clifftop Lookout all that they want. Oh, Daring Wave Rider. What can you get out of your bin? Spellgyre, so you can Surveil 2 and draw 2? Okay, I don't mind. You can do that. That's fine. I love the way that they've built their deck, by the way. This is like so cool. But I will say, you know, in Bloomburrow, you need to have early plays. Like Tender Wild Guide, Shoreline Looter, like getting on the board early, the Sticky Tongue Sentinels, Baker's Bane Duo. That's the price. That's the cost of doing business. The price of entry to building a deck like this. And I'm not saying whatsoever that my opponent built their deck wrong. They could have just drawn, you know, the part of it that didn't have their early plays, but you do really risk falling behind if you have this much sweetness packed into your deck. Okay, can't really do anything about that. Let's add a black mana just to confuse them. Okay. Did I get to play any high up in-person tournaments in the set? No, my first big paper tournament. I mean, I played a regional championship qualifier in like 2009 or something, which was my first like competitive rules enforcement. But then I didn't again. Sorry, let's see. I probably just rip off Mind Spiral first thing. And I think I do want to lock down their Daring Wave Rider, even if it gives them a fish. Oh, maybe I should have kept maybe I should have kept a blue untapped. Yeah, so, and then the next one that I played that was competitive rules enforcement was, I played Final Fantasy. I started going back on like playing regional championship qualifiers around that time, like Final Fantasy, like one-ish year after Bloomburrow, I guess. And then it's really only been in the last year or so that I started doing a lot of that. So I played for Lorwyn. I played the Toronto Spotlight series. I think that's what it was, something like that. Someone can correct me if it was called something else. I always forget what these things are called. I think I'll go ahead and just flicker this guy. Like, holding up for Dazzling Denial is fine and whatever, but like, even if they have a board wipe, am I really that scared? I think I just want to put them in a position where they pretty much can't win unless they have something dramatic. And then, yeah, I played Edge of Eternities. I played the Atlanta, what was it? The Atlanta, I don't remember what that, it was a Magic Con, yeah. And I played in the Limited Championship Qualifier. So sadly, No competitive Bloomburrow. I think I had a pretty good edge on the set, but what I will say is the kinds of decks that I'm drafting here, they're all well and good on Arena for the most part. But even by the time you get up to like 5, 6, 7 wins, you start to face the really tuned version of the animal decks. And the really splashy value-oriented decks in Bloomburrow, they do fall to just a good version of like any of the top 5 or 6 animal-based archetypes. So, you know, if you're like playing sealed at a really big event, oh, what is this? Do you have something? I didn't think you had something in your bin. Okay, maybe they're just untapping it. That makes sense. You know, you do get into a spot where it is you really do want to be playing the silly kind of animal on rail stuff. But I do think at least unlike the arena ladder, doing this kind of a thing gives you an advantage. I want to tap my white and I want to keep high stride up is basically what I'm caring about here. Because look at this. This is just like totally egregious. Just double flickering a Splash Lasher. Lock down your treetop sentries. Overprotect. But you know what I have? Dazzling Denial out of nowhere off of my random 1/1 Mana Dark. So yeah, anyways, all of that was very long-winded, I know. But all of that to say, you know, I did deny myself the Splash Lasher attack there, actually. So maybe that was not good, but it felt sweet. So it was worth doing. All of that to say, like, you know, in the Arena Direct, I'm not so sure that you want to be building a deck like this. I mean, this deck would be sweet in the Arena Direct. This one specifically, because of the number, like, double Galewind Moose. Like, it has so much power. Oh, okay. I'm getting kidnapped. Yeah, that could be a problem for me. Well, I do have another Lily Splash Mentor, so hopefully not too much of a problem. Also, Shoreline Looter remains unblockable. And they can't flicker my Lily Splash Mentor because then it would go under my control, I believe. Owner's control. Oh, they can flicker their Daring Wave Rider to play an Overprotect from their graveyard? Wouldn't you want to do that on my turn, though, after I attack? I'm sorry, wouldn't you want to do that on my turn? It's not like you're going to kill me here or anything. I'm at 17. Are you attacking me with a fish? That's so rude. This is confusing to me. So, oh, it's activate only as a sorcery. They actually can't do that during my turn. But yeah, I think in the Arena Direct, you probably want to have a pretty straightforward game plan, to be quite honest. Well, now that you're tapped down, I guess I'll just play this defensively. I mean, going in for 9, I really like the opponent's... I like everything about what the opponent is doing. Huge respect to this opponent. I like everything about their game plan. I really liked that attack. They were just kind of like, well, I have 2 turns on the clock. I have to make it my opponent's problem. So I'll go in with Shoreline Looter because I can't Lily Splash Mentor and flicker everything for the win. I do want to play my Galewind Moose, and maybe I just want to make sure that it can't be countered. Well, let's see. I kind of want to put enough non-summoning sick creatures. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about this. I want to play the Galewind Moose, but at the same time, every Pond Prophet is a lethal attacker, especially when I can be flickering Splash Lasher, right? So I actually think let's just put power and toughness on the board. Unless they can somehow hop. Is there a way that they could hop something, give it flying? Yeah, actually, you know what? I would lose to a common if I don't play a reach creature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dang, and I can't play this and also save up for the moose. So the thing is, I would lose to the 2/2 that gives something flying. So maybe I play this now just to make sure that I resolve it. Then let's go ahead and flicker the Splash Lasher and lock down one of their creatures. Yeah, so I would lose to the 2/2 with Offspring that gives something flying. If I didn't play a reach creature there, they could actually have beamed me for 8, 12. Oh no, I wouldn't even have died. I would have been had 1 HP to spare. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I was playing a little bit too cautiously, but that's okay. All right, we're going 2-0 with the most confusing hard to pilot deck ever with a Fever. So that's definitely something to be proud of. That is something to be proud of, my friends. What's everyone drafting? I'm curious. Bloomburrow is out. Foundations is out right now. Powered Cube is out. Is anyone drafting right now? Or is everyone just taking a break while we wait for Strixhaven? I'm going to mulligan. This is very keepable. Probably just put back Mind Spiral, honestly. I can play, like, I can draw cards in a way cooler way, which is like play Pawn Prophet, copy my Pawn Prophet if I want to, bounce my Pawn Prophet. Yes, please. I am excited for Strixhaven to kind of refocus the limited community on one set. I mean, I do like Bloomburrow a lot. I like Foundations. It's going to be cool to get to play Neo and like see why everyone loves that set so much. But, you know, Flashback is a pale imitation. Okay, now the question is, do I actually want my own Thorn Vault Forager? It can actually get me Baker's Bane Duo. If only I had Camellia, huh? Yeah, I kind of like the idea of... Wait, but it's Forage? Yeah, I kind of like the idea of ramping. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Pawn Profit, bouncing my Pawn Profit is all well and good, but if I can have a flying Thorn Vault Forager ramping me into doing that even faster, like I could do that on one turn, that sounds better, doesn't it? That sounds better. Okay. So down comes a Rush Shield Rampager. Yeah, that's a little rough for me. Now, I cannot forage. So, okay, maybe this wasn't much ramp at all. I guess I'll play the Pawn Profit. Well, I'm in some trouble. I mean, I am falling behind. So saving up for Clement is a little bit rough here. Maybe I do just play the Bushy Bodyguard. I really don't want to fall so far behind. I have a lot of big creatures, and also Clement can always bounce it. So I think this makes sense to me. Basically, the idea is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess if I played Clement, it can tap. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe I should have actually played Clement and not the Pawn Profit, specifically because then I could play Galewind Moose next turn. But okay, what can you do? I'm 2-0 with a Fever. I think that's I think that's already above par. So next up, Island, Clement, recast the Pawn Profit. That's a pretty good turn, right? That's a pretty good turn. So this thing, they do need another green to be able to start activating it. But it can take over the late game pretty good, giving all of your stuff +1/+1 counter. Burrowguard Mentor, what a card. Now they have 2 must-answer threats for me. That's really rough. Oh, they don't need an extra green because they can always use this for the green. However, they just conspicuously left up these 3. I don't know why they tapped the Thorn Vault Forager. That's pretty scary to me, actually. But okay, I'll go ahead and play Clement. Bounce a Pawn Profit, recast a Pawn Profit. It's a little bit too slow, though, right? This is the downside of this kind of thing. It's a little bit too slow. Mind Spiral, well, that can lock something down, I guess, in the long run. I don't mind them having a fish. So basically, Mind Spiral maybe buys me a little bit of time off the Rush Shield Rampager, but if they attack with everything, it really kind of seemed like they had something. I'm really not sure why they didn't tap, why they tapped Thorn Vault Forager instead of Okala Village. I don't really know what to make of that. But it's really hard to double block the Burrowguard Mentor when they could just have like Crumb and Get It or something. But I think I might almost have to. Well, no, if I play the Galewind Moose and block the Burrowguard Mentor... Okay, good. All right, so they don't have Crumb and Get It. Okay. All right, so that makes me a lot more optimistic about my fate here. So I'm just going to not do anything, kind of play dead. And then when they attack me with whatever, I play Galewind Moose and block. They just revealed that they didn't have Crumb and Get It last turn. So if they do have it, that's the 1 mana +2/+2 and can make something indestructible. So if they do have it, then they just top decked it, which would be a bad beat, but... Oh, I can tap my Pawn Profit for it? Sure. Oh, you know what? I actually could have attacked then. I didn't think about that. The fact that Clement lets me tap for a green to play a creature spell means I actually could have... I could have attacked with the Thorn Vault Forager and gotten in a little bit of damage, but... I mean... I don't think we're in a board stall where we're trying to scrap for every little bit of damage. I think this is a game that will not be won on thin margins. Oh, did you draw a combat trick? Or you were like 300 IQing me by not attack. Well, they have it. So why didn't you attack with Burrowguard Mentor? They really wanted it to be a surprise, or they just top decked it. Well, good for you. I mean, I specifically thought that you didn't have that based on your behavior, but you did. So either you tricked me really effectively, which is congratulations, you're a gamer, or you just top decked it, in which case, congratulations, you're a gamer. Okay, so next up, probably just gonna Mind Spiral. Oh, I can crack the food. Yeah, wait, no, but I have to forage to do that, I guess. How do I crack the food? I tap to add 1, tap to add 1, but spend it only on a creature spell? How does this work? How can I sacrifice this? I don't get it. Don't I have to forage to do that? I don't get it. All right, I'll go ahead and... I will play Mind Spiral first, probably. Give them a gift of a fish. I'll draw 3, and I will lock down the Rush Shield Rampager. Time for me to just draw some cards and try to get out of this terrible situation. Sticky Tongue Sentinel and Splash Lasher. No, I do not hate that at all. My deck has a lot of power. It just is a little bit slow. So I could just play the Splash Lasher and lock down their Burrow Guard Mentor, or I could play, let's say, Pawn Prophet. I can also Tender Wild Guide by foraging. Is that good? I would be subject to some damage, but I think having a lot of mana here is actually really good. So let's go ahead and do that. I think having a lot of mana here is really good, and these guys can become large. So I could take, I don't know, like 7 damage off of this Burrow Guard Mentor or something. But basically, I think being able to play Splash Lasher next turn, lock down their 2 cards, and just have some board presence off of the Tender Wild Guides, I think it's worth that investment in the future. That's just my conjecture. We'll see. Maybe not. This does not put counters on fish, so you can't activate that to make your fish a 2/2, but good thinking to see if you can. Or they're going to do something else. We'll see what this is about. I think they were checking to see if they could put a counter on their fish, which is smart. Smart thing to consider. So I definitely left myself open to this Burrow Guard Mentor. If they just play like 3 creatures and attack me, you know, then Rush Shield Rampager is a lethal attacker. This thing always has trample. But we'll see. I probably Splash Lasher, locking down. Maybe I just double lock down the Burrow Guard Mentor. You can bounce, what, Clifftop Lookout or something? And then the Burrow Guard Mentor is not like unblockable forever, right? I can always block that thing later on. Okay, so it sounds like they also have lots of cards in their hand that they want to be able to play. But yeah, no, just take 6. This is the downside of the line that I chose, is I do take a big hit this turn. So I think I open with a Pawn Prophet, and then I can Splash Lasher bouncing the Pawn Prophet. So draw card, no bounce. Oof, really bad draw, really bad draw. Okay, then I'll play a Splash Lasher with Offspring. Tapping, do I want to tap like that? I would say I'll play a Forest, or I'll play an Island instead of tapping one of those cards. I really don't want to tap the Tender Wild Guide. Yeah, and I don't want to tap Clement either, actually. So when it enters, target a creature you control with lesser mana value. Yeah, I will bounce a Pawn Prophet. I don't think I need to be chump blocking. So I'll lock that down, and then I'm going to do the same thing again. I cannot double bounce my Pawn Prophet, so I'll just keep this guy on lockdown. And now I have chump blockers for days. Then I could play a Sticky Tongue Sentinel. I don't really think that's worth it. I could also recast my Pawn Prophet. Again, don't really think that's worth it. Really, I want to just be growing my Tender Wild Guides. That's the name of the game here. Sticky Tongue Sentinel can bounce a Bushy Bodyguard, and if I get one more creature killed, which I'm not asking to happen, but it could, then I can recast it and make it have 4 power, and the little Offspring token, if I get to forge again somehow, would have 3 power, which would make them able to block Rush Shield Rampager. I quite like that my opponent seems to be digging. I wonder if they're getting a Baker's Bane duo here. I do wonder if they are getting a Baker's Bane duo out of the deal. Oak Hollow Village? What? No. Okay, they whiffed on that, and then they just played an Oak Hollow Village unrelatedly, I guess. All right, easy double block. This definitely looks like a combat trick, but not much we can do about that. However, as of next turn, my Tender Wild Guides will be able to block the Rush Shield Rampager. Okay, very good. Yeah, killing Clement makes a lot of sense, because I'm going to start just bouncing everything. All right, so put a counter. Yeah, and these guys get nice and chunky. So I'm in a very tough spot as per usual. It's kind of my MO. But, you know, it's not lost. It is not a lost situation, is it? So I think I want to play... I don't really care about ever playing this Uncharted Haven. I have so many ways of adding mana of any color. I think I could play the Sticky Tongue Sentinel, recast the Splash Lasher, and lock something down, but I think I want to do that later on. I think what I'll do here is I can't attack with the Thornvault Forager. Well, I can, but it really reveals that I have a combat trick, doesn't it? So maybe what I will do is, yeah, maybe I just land the Bruiser, and that's going to be my main attacker. So I am taking over the game, right? Now I'm ahead on the board. Way behind on life, but ahead on the board. And then Sticky Tongue Sentinel is going to bounce the Splash Lasher, and I'll recast it. Tender Wild Guides are meanwhile getting big enough that Burrow Guard Mentor is not like a game-ending threat any longer. And I'm going to start attacking with Junkblade Bruiser, so I'm the one who has the momentum. All right, I keep wanting to go to my turn, but I have to not do that. I have to remember to activate my Tender Wild Guides. I could also use High Stride to get another activation out of Tender Wild Guide one day if that's ever relevant. Okay, so I want to expend. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and play a Sticky Tongue Sentinel, bounce my Splash Lasher, play a land, play the Splash Lasher with Offspring. This is pretty sweet, isn't it? This is a really awesome last draft of Bloomburrow. I'm really, really loving this deck. This is so cool. So I could block down their Sticky Tongue Sentinel if I want to, but I think I'll just keep blocking this down. Also, if they had more squirrels, I would block down the Thorn Vault Forager, but they whiffed with that, so I don't think it really matters. I could also attack with Tender Wild Guide. I'm not feeling too fussed up about that. They could have the board wipe, but I don't think this is a deck that's running the white board wipe. I just don't. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I just don't think so. Our opponent has demonstrated an amazing capacity to be tricky, though, in the past, haven't they? They have demonstrated an amazing capacity to be tricky when they totally got me with that Crumb and Get It. I mean, they really, they really did not give away that they had it. I'm very confident that they had it, and they did that same line of thinking that I often have, which is like, if I attack with a 3/3 into your 4/4, then you know I have a combat trick, and I don't really want to give away that information right now. And yeah, they got me to play the Moose and get it into combat when if I knew they had a combat trick, I wouldn't have. Just suspecting that they have a combat trick, maybe it was still worth it. Here, I'm not even going to spend High Stride. Like, I don't care about this Junk Blade Bruiser that much. I'll go to damage. If you want to play your combat trick, go for it. But I'll trade this for all 3 of those cards, sure. Seems good to me. Now this kind of looks like a board wipe, so that definitely worries me. This kind of looks like a board wipe. This makes Beauregard Mentor not good, by the way. So yeah, am I getting board wiped? That would be really bad, wouldn't it? Good for the opponent if they had the board wipe all along. I mean, this does not look like a deck that's playing a board wipe, but it is just a rare, so they very well could just have it here. If they don't have it, I'm feeling really good. They wouldn't have played that if they had Season of Growth either. Well, they have the board wipe. Good for them. Okay. It's a funny deck to be running the board wipe, but yeah, you know, it is just a rare, so it happens. I could have committed less to the board, but like, we were so far behind. I don't really feel like I had that luxury. Oh, drawing a land is really bad. I will not be wanting another land here. Thank you. Yep. No, they certainly just got us at this point, right? So I'll go ahead and play this. I'll name white because we still haven't played our white card. I'll play a Shoreline Looter. So maybe we can eat Beauregard Mentor with a High Stride, but probably not. Yeah, I mean, like, I could have not played the last Sticky Tongue Sentinel. The thing is, like, Pawn Profit gives you a reimbursement for it. You know, yeah, we don't get to eat Beauregard Mentor here. It's going to be a 4/4. So I block down Harvest Right Host. Yep, no. They weren't playing very board wipey either. Clearly they were accumulating 2 creatures in their hand, but you can't really tell when someone has 2 creatures in their hand, you know? That looks very indistinguishable to them holding just not very relevant stuff. So I don't think they gave it away, but yeah, they clearly played well. It's just very surprising. Like, okay, well, we didn't help our case by drawing all of these lands, but you know, that happens. It's just like not usual that someone is playing like such a play to the board deck and is also running a board wipe. Yeah, if we had a few more creatures, like maybe if we had anything that generates value here, we could play the Lily Splash Mentor and flicker it, but we're just dead on the board, aren't we? Okay, well, good game. Good game to them. Sometimes your opponent has Wrath of God. I could have played a little bit more conservatively, but you're going to lose a lot of games when you're at 6 HP and your opponent is at 20 and you don't commit a resource to the board because you're afraid they have a board wipe, right? And I don't really think that there were a lot of individual decisions where I would have done it differently. I was thinking about the board wipe for several turns, and I don't think at any point I was like actively reasoning incorrectly. This is not a keepable hand, right? All it can do is Sticky Tongue Sentinel and then dream of Galewind Moose. If we had a blue, it would be totally awesome. We would get to do the Thunder Trap Trainer Dream. Here, I think I will put the Island back because Clement taps for mana. And we have multiple ways of bouncing our little Baker's Bane duo. All right, Bonebind Orator. Down comes Baker's Bane duo. I'm not inclined to bounce it, so probably I'll just play Clement next turn. Okay, sure. They have a Saver and attack me. That all makes sense. Go ahead and play a land and play Clement. I kind of wish that I still had that, Galewind Moose. The Mind Spirals, I never, let it be on the record, I said it very early on, I never wanted to play 2 Mind Spirals, but I just didn't draft enough good cards, which isn't really an excuse. It's not really in my defense, I didn't draft enough good cards. But the thing is, like, you know, would I rather have a cash grab in my hand right now? Not really. So I'm not exactly sure what else I would be doing. And unfortunately, Clement only taps to play creatures. Now I could have attacked and tried to trade with their, offer to trade with their Star Charter. I don't really want to because I think I'm about to lock down Star Charter. Although actually Star Charter has a really good passive ability. So, okay, maybe I should have, and they probably wouldn't have traded. So probably did give up on 3 damage there. All right, so I kind of need something good. I'm definitely way behind at this point. This is at the beginning of your end step, so they'll gain here. I think I'll lock down this. They will gain life, but it won't trigger Star Charter. All right. I could just play the Pawn Prophet. That's really funny. Well, let's start by attacking with Clement. I kind of don't hate playing the Pawn Prophet. Do I just do that? I don't think I'm losing on aggro. Oh, okay, interesting. Well, I'll definitely kill Life Creed Duo. I assumed that was an important part of their game plan, but then this just makes me think that they have another Life Creed Duo, or just a lot of other ways of consistently gaining life. Yeah, I'm not feeling great against a very high synergy Bats deck either. But we'll see, we'll see. This is going to be a battle of synergy versus synergy. Okay, they do have another way of consistently gaining life. However, not really, because I can't actually attack into my stuff. So I'm actually very surprised by their decision to trade there. Let's see. So I really want to play Shoreline Looter. I also want to play the Sticky Tongue Sentinel to have backup against this Moonrise Cleric in case the plan here, like part of trading off the Life Creed Duo, was that they have a removal spell for my Sticky Tongue Sentinel so they can start attacking now. But the thing is, I want to bounce a Pawn Prophet when I play the Sticky Tongue Sentinel. I think Shoreline Looter is just so much value. I can just go ahead and play that, though. I don't think I'm going to be needing to scrounge around for Pawn Prophet, extra Pawn Prophet draws when I have Mind Spiral plus Shoreline Looter. Yeah, I can just commit to the board. That's fine. So it looks like they were bouncing over their food. So I wonder if they're going to crack their food and then get a creature off the top. I wonder. We shall see. I have 2 reach blockers, so I'm not worried about losing that way. Okay, that's perfectly fine. This card is really underwhelming. Eventually it becomes a 5/5 after like a lot of effort. Okay, so I can lock something down if I want to. Kind of want to start with Pawn Prophet because that doesn't stop me from playing anything. It actually just gives me an extra option of what to discard. Oh, okay. Well, that's a little rough. In with Shoreline Looter. This card is so good. Bloomburrow hits board stalls so much of the time. Okay, I really don't want to remove cards from my graveyard, though, because that's what's going to make my Shoreline Looter draw. So maybe I don't even tap anything down of theirs, and I'm just going to Mind Spiral myself. They're really far away from hitting Threshold. So yeah, let's just go ahead and Mind Spiral myself. It would be nice if... Oh, man, another Bushy Bodyguard and 2 lands. Horrible draws. Those are terrible draws, because I really don't want to forage. It's a total anti-synergy with Shoreline Looter. I only want to forage once because I don't think I particularly care about my food. And so get like multiples of this. I barely even wanted 1. And then more lands is like the last thing that I need. However, if I draw, let's say like the 4/4 that flickers something for 3 mana, then I'll be very happy to have these extra lands. So can't complain too much about that. All right, let's see what you've got, my dear opponent here. They could attack me with Ravine Raider. I'm not sure I even want to double block. If you gained or lost life, so they could crack their food just to get an extra creature. That would make a lot of sense to me. Attacking with everything when you have absolutely no tricks. That's not what I expected to happen here. I guess I want to bring back the Life Creed Duo. Well, I'm definitely going to take the opportunity to kill Star Charter. That's the main thing that I'm worried about. I guess I can always bring it back with Bonebind Orator. So maybe that's their idea. But yeah, let's just block like this. They don't have any way of pumping anything. Well, yes, you can pump your Ravine Raider. That's true. I can't block it because it has Menace, so... Why did Arena give them 1 swamp that looks totally different? That's so funny. All right, getting a card in the graveyard is not the worst for me because now Shoreline Looter is going to go online. And I have plenty of blockers that I can play, so I'm not too terribly concerned about all this. I also have a food that I can crack. So in with Shoreline Looter, draw a card, discard a card, and then I'm just going to play as many cards as I possibly can. Okay, Junkblade Bruiser is pretty good. So I can go Helga. Junkblade Bruiser is a really good draw. I can play Helga into Junkblade Bruiser, draw a card. I'm not dying or anything if I do this, right? Blocks, blocks, blocks. I take 4. Yeah, this should be fine. I'm at 9 now. Yeah, this should be fine, right? I mean, I don't know if it's fine, but I don't know if it's fine, but I shouldn't be dead right now. I think it's really hard for them to just kill me in this situation. I do kind of have to double block the Ravine Raider because it is actually tagging for 4 damage. But all that means is I have to commit a pawn profit to that. Maybe I end up chump blocking. I mean, Mindrill Assailant is only tagging for 3, so I could like put Helga in front of the Mindrill Assailant, or only tagging for 2 damage. Interesting that they do this before attacks. I guess they don't want to attack with everything this turn, because this means that they can't pump Ravine Raider. I'm not so scared of Ravine Raider. Oh, them keeping something on top is worrisome to me. That card's very good for them, but they no longer have their Star Charter. Oh, maybe we can get them the same way with the Bonebind Orator into Dazzling Denial situation. That was pretty awesome. All right, so first things first, draw a card, see what we get. Once I have like a bunch more cards in the graveyard, I can actually start foraging. All right, yeah, I don't hate playing Thundertrap Trainer with Offspring. That probably is better than the Bushy Bodyguards, because I don't hate chump blocking in this situation. I could make an attack, but I don't think I have it in me. The problem is I have my Dazzling Denial and I've played my yeah, that was pretty bad. I have my Dazzling Denial and I've played my double Mind Spiral, so okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But it's probably fine. Like, I would be less upset if I hadn't just put both of my Gil and Mooses on the bottom of my deck. But basically, I like having multiple creatures here because I can double block, or I can chump block more things to allow me to double block the Ravine Raider with things that can actually kill it. I don't think that I had an attack. I think that would have been a little bit bold. They can't really attack with Life Creed Duo so long as I manage to have a reach creature. And I want to play the Bushy Bodyguards later, right? Because the later that I play the Bushy Bodyguards, the more likelihood there is that I can get a few more cards in the graveyard, especially if it's after an attack from them. Now, I really wish I could have gotten my Mooses because those will draw me a card off of Helga and make her chunkier. Consumed by Greed. What a card. So I sacrifice the creature I have with the most power. I don't have a bird, so I can't counter that. I sacrifice the creature I have with the most power, and you return Star Charter to your hand. And you're not even going to play it this turn? Rats. You can't even play it. Oh, and you gave a gift draw card. Oh, maybe they'll hit a land because they surveilled. Hey, it's the same exact thing. Wow, Dazzling Denial. So good. These 2-mana counters have been so good in basically every format. All right, now they're going to attack with everything, aren't they? Okay, I thought the point of that was maybe that they would attack with everything, but I guess not. Oh, Foundport Belt. You know, couldn't you have just been there, like, earlier? I'm not going to take that action. I guess I should have, technically I should have drawn to the Shoreline Looter first. Couldn't you have been there on a slightly earlier turn so that I could have ripped you off of the Thundertrap Trainer? Instead of being the 9th card on top of my deck, maybe you could have been the 8th card on top of my deck, for example. Just a little request for you. All right, play a land, play a Splash Slasher. Yeah, this counterspell, Dazzling Denial, has been doing so much work for me. I'm going to go ahead and play this over the Bushy Bodyguards. I technically can... No, I can almost double forage with a Bushy Bodyguard, but I like the idea of triggering my Helga here. That seems really good. And also locking down 2 of their creatures can't be all bad, right? So let's lock down maybe Mindrill Assailant, because that's an easy blocker, and a Bonebind Orator. I expect them to use their Bonebind Orators at the first possible opportunity. Like, attacking here is really awkward because I'm attacking into a Bonebind Orator that can block me. But if I had not locked down the Mindrill Assailant, they would just be able to block with that. So, not really sure. I guess I don't care that much about Star Charter at this point, actually. Yeah, if you want to put a lot of effort into playing a Star Charter, that's fine. Oh, I can't actually play Pawn Profit, though, because then I don't have High Stride up. That's really important. Okay, so I have to keep that up, but I can also crack a food. No need to crack the Foundport Bell here. So this means that next turn, if I find a way to tap down the Bonebind Orator, I haven't seen my... Actually, is this card on top the 4 mana that flickers things? Because I don't think I saw that with my Thundertrap Trainers, and we haven't seen it anywhere else this game. So it actually could be that, right? Oh, Valley Rotcaller, which can just dome me for 5. Yeah, that's a good card for the opponent. Holy cow. No, that's a big issue for me, isn't it? Just doming me for 5 straight up? Yeah, okay. All right. So I definitely need to crack my food while I still have the opportunity. I'm only at 10 cards left in my deck, so the sooner these Galewind Mooses show up, the better. Okay, no, I guess I did see the... I forget what it's called, but you know, the guy that costs 4. I'm sure it's in the top 4, because I know the bottom 4 had 2 Galewind Mooses, which is just so bad. Inexpressibly bad. So first, let's send the Shoreline Looter in, because I'm not looting anymore, so I don't need to get myself the extra optionality of playing Pawn Profit first. Draw a card. This is pretty awesome though, right? We're getting a lot of magic for our gems. Now I can actually play a Bushy Bodyguard and double Forage, so that's nice. Uncharted Haven is pretty awkward. So let's play a Bushy Bodyguard and double Forage with Offspring. I don't really want to attack. Do I? Maybe I do attack. No, I want to keep the Splash Lasher, because the moment I can start flickering Splash Lasher, the happier I am, right? I really like High Stride in this situation, by the way. I think that's a really, really good card to have. So I can forage once because I got rid of the food. That's right. I'm not going to forage twice. I don't think I want to start looting. Actually, is looting worth it for me just to have another chunky creature? No, because the 3/2 still runs up against... I might forage with the other Bushy Bodyguard, because looting's not that bad for me. But a 3/2 lines up against Mind Drill Assailant horribly. So let's go ahead and play the Tender Wild Guide. I think I play an island first, and then I play Tender Wild Guide with Offspring, making sure to leave a green untapped for High Stride. And then, yeah, my reach creature is not so important to me because I do have High Stride, which gives something reach. Now we do need to find an opportunity to get some pressure onto the opponent, because look at our board. This is pretty awesome. This is pretty awesome. I don't even mind if I 2-3 this draft, because we've gotten some pretty awesome magic out of this. I only have 6 cards left, so I somehow have to win a game. Hopefully I'm about to draw my 4/4 reach and just start flickering Splash Lasher 9 times a turn or whatever. The Valley Rockcaller is going to hit me for a lot here if they do decide to attack. Are they thinking of surveilling on their upkeep? That kind of makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I really hope they make an Alpha Strike here. Yeah, okay. I really hope they just attack with a lot of stuff. I must kill their Valley Rockcaller in combat, because 3 attacks off that guy and I'm straight up dead. The fact that it gains them 5 is a really big game as well. I really don't want to be drawing that many cards anymore either. I think I kind of have to cut it out with the Shoreline looting, because Helga also is drawing me cards. All right. All right, okay. I don't hate that they're attacking here. So I think let's pass to blockers. I don't mind if Helga dies, so I'll block. I really don't want my Splash Lasher to get killed. So maybe I block. I don't really need these Pawn Profits anymore. Some random 1/1, a 1/2. Throw another 1/1 in there. Maybe you can have this 1/1 as well. They could always have Crumbing get it, but I don't really care if they kill 3 1/1s. Maybe that's a reason to block with something with slightly higher toughness, but I don't want to risk a 3/3 in this situation. So I'll just toss another Pawn Profit in there, see what happens. If they give me a food, I actually don't mind that either. All right, we can go to damage. This is so funny. This is a pretty awesome game. Maybe I don't have quite enough of a top end, but the thing is, like, they killed my Junkblade Bruiser, and then I put 2 Galewind Mooses on the bottom, like, many turns ago. Putting double Galewind Moose on the bottom is, like, an issue. Oh, you're gonna rip my High Stride out of my hand, I guess? That's pretty annoying of you. Well, no sense in playing it. All right. You can take Bushy Bodyguard or High Stride. The face-up High Stride is pretty awful. All right, come on. 4/4 that flickers things. The sooner I draw that, the happier I am. No, not another land. Are you kidding me? All right, well, even though I don't have that many more draws left, I definitely am supposed to go into Shoreline Looter, see if I can get the 4/4 that flickers. Come on. Okay, there you go. My win condition. So tap, tap, tap. All right, we actually have a hope in this game now, right? We actually have a hope in this game. Oh no, I do actually draw a card off of Helga, which is actually quite bad. It's not when it enters, right? It's when you cast. Yeah. All right. So let's get... Now, I could always play Galewind Moose. Is that actually what I want to be doing? Play the Galewind Moose at the end of turn to actually represent some real damage. Splash Lasher, I can activate... I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can only activate it twice. No, wait. Sorry. 9, 10. Oh wait, the Galewind Moose I can play at the end of their turn for 4, as long as I keep Helga untapped and alive. Okay, no, that's pretty awesome, right? All right, so Splash Lasher goes away and comes back. Let's lock down Bonebind Orator. Splash Lasher goes away and comes back. Let's lock down the other Bonebind Orator, I guess, or maybe the Mind Drill Assailant. And then if I play one more, then 4, 5, 6, then I can no longer play my Galewind Moose. So that's it, right? That's the end of our fun. But this lets me put counters on the Tender Wild Guides. Oh, this is pretty awesome, right? This is good Magic cards, don't you think? I can never again attack with Shoreline Looter. I'm decked out the moment I play my Galewind Moose, my other Galewind Moose. Yeah, that's pretty awkward. Because I'm going to draw a card off of Helga. All right. Our fun is about to come to an end. I may simply deck out. Maybe I should play that bark thingy that you can put a card on top of your deck. Oh, Mockingbird. But that also draws me a card off of Helga if I'm not careful. All right, let's put a counter on this guy. And then put a counter on this guy. I really need to not draw another card off of Helga. Okay, so do I just attack with pretty much everything? I guess Flicker, Splash Lasher, lock their stuff down. This is really complicated. I have no idea what I'm technically supposed to be doing here. Lock down, let's say the other Bonebind Orator. Flicker Helga, or Flicker Splash Lasher, locked out. What the heck is going on? I've completely lost track of what's up in my life. For real. For real, I have no idea what's happening. I don't want you to chump block with your fish. Flicker Splash Lasher. This is so confusing. They're at 27 HP. It's out of control. I will lock down, I guess, the Jolly Gerbils. This is so funny. What is going on, everybody? Flickering the Splash Lasher. And let's lock down the 2/2. And do I do another one? Probably. Flicker the Splash Lasher. Let's see. If I do another one, I'm giving up on 3 damage. Kind of need to go in the tank. They can do... I think I do want to lock down Ravine Raider because that thing can just straight up kill me. So let's Flicker the Splash Lasher. Lock down Ravine Raider. Oh, they actually get to untap Mind Drill Assailant because that was a whole turn ago. So I kind of do need to leave something untapped for that. But the Moose has Vigilance. What else has Vigilance? Some other things have Vigilance. So next, in with the team, but I must not attack with Shoreline Looter. So in with the team, I kind of want to leave back like a 1/1 or something. Maybe leave back this guy. The Moose has Vigilance. I don't know, that's 4 damage is a lot of damage. Let's leave back a few 1/1s just in case. So this would be 10, 14, 15, 20, 21, 24. It's almost a lethal attack. Actually, is this just a lethal attack if they don't have anything? Attack with the team. 10, 14. How do I get myself into these situations? Seriously. 10, 11, and I'm sick as well. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 5, 28. They can block 1, so it's straight up a lethal attack. I think I just go for it, right? If they can crack back with a Mind Drill Assailant, a Bonebind Orator, and a Life Creed duo. I mean, there's also Shoreline Looter would just deck me out, so maybe I don't go for it just yet. Because Shoreline Looter, if I do that 1 extra damage, it would straight up deck me out. So if they have any removal spell, I would just die next turn on my draw step. I need to not draw a card from this. I need to not draw a card from this. It's scary being 1 card away. You are very right. You are very right. I'm very scared. So I like this attack. I like this attack. They need something pretty fancy. Watch it just be another one of the whiteboard wipe. That would be so funny. They need something pretty fancy to get me here, I think. Right? Like Crumb and Get It is not going to do it. Especially if they're blocking. Okay, it's not a chump block. Interesting. It's not even a chump block. I guess they figure they're dead if I get another attack. I don't know what their outs are. I feel like this was the way to go, but who the heck knows? They do get to Surveil. That's true. I mean, I have a lot of blockers. Like, this guy has Reach. These guys can easily block the Mind Drill Assailant. This guy can block Bonebind Orator. I'll happily sack my Shoreline Looter. I cannot play Galewind Moose or I lose, so long as Helga is alive. But yeah, finally finding that Lily Splash Mentor. The main issue in this game, this would have, I think, ended a long time ago. I mean, I don't know what they have left in their deck. Maybe it would have ended a long time ago in their favor if they drew differently. But for me, if I drew the Lily Splash Mentor earlier or the Galewind Moose, but especially Lily Splash Mentor, we kind of could have pushed it over. The issue is in the bottom 6 cards, I had my 3 win conditions, and we just had to draw until we got there, which put us really close to decking. I don't know, does that black common say target player draws 2 cards? I think it's just you draw 2 cards. I don't think they can deck me here. All right, Mind Drill Assailant, I don't mind it. It looks like digging. It's not like food is going to do it for them here. Winning with 0 cards left in your deck is a special joy. I guess maybe I could have attacked differently. Attacked with everything, held back a Tender Wild Guide. Yeah, Mabel's Metal's not going to do it. And then had High Stride as like a way of pushing lethal damage, but I don't really think so. All right, can we do it with 1 card left in our deck, folks? And a fever in our brain. Is it possible? Is it going to happen for us? Down comes a swamp. Wow, I feel like I've been staring at this one different swamp for like hours at this point. It would be really painful to not convert this into a win after all that. I'm sure there were 20 different decisions that I could have done, you know. If I lose, I'm sure there were 20 decision points where I could have won instead. But I don't know what they could have. They still have board wipe mana. They straight up could still have the board wipe, and then I do not have enough time to play my Galewind Moose and also attack with it. If they have the board wipe, then I'll be pretty grumpy, because that would be some amazing slow rolling. And the second game in a row to lose to that. So that would be pretty brutal. But let us see what they've got. All right, Eric Torres, or possibly Eric K. Torres. Yeah, I mean, you know, can they like sack a Bonebind Orator and get something back? They don't have enough mana. What is this card? It kind of feels like Mabel's Metal or something, where they're calculating like, is there any way that I can make such boneheaded blocks that I just die from 10 HP? Or they're just staring at the board wipe and making me sweat it out. They're still here. Parting Gust. Okay, I can see why that was complicated. Gifting. Okay. Oh, gift a tap fish. They can't gift me a card. If they could have gifted me a card, I would have lost right here, right now. Oh my goodness. Maybe they were trying to see if there was any way they could flicker something and make me draw. It's so funny. If they could have gifted me a card, I would have lost. I didn't even think about that. Wow, what a game. Literally going to decking because I had 0 cards left in my deck at that point, and a bunch of cards stuck in my hand. 2, you know, the Galewind Moose, and also I couldn't play the Mockingbird for X = 3 or more. What a game. We just needed to stabilize and stay alive until we drew our Splash Lasher and start flickering. Sorry, drew our, what's that card called? I need to stop calling it the 4 mana that flickers. Let me look at my deck list. But start flickering the Splash Lasher. That was the secret. Lily Splash Mentor, flickering the Splash Lasher. The ultimate combo of our draft. Wow, it's already been an hour and a half, and this Frogs deck is so dirtily. I don't know. I kind of love it, though. This is an awesome send-off to Bloomburrow. This is making much more sense than the draft video that I'll post tomorrow, which is technically my send-off to Bloomburrow. All right, so drop a Forest. Actually, I made a small mistake here. You actually should open with the island in this situation, because if they play a 1-drop, then I will reveal that I have High Stride, a very subtle little arena client thing, where obviously I'm not caring about that in Premier Draft. Oof, a Burrowguard Mentor, don't do this to me. But when I'm like playing for a lot of money, yeah, I do think about that kind of a thing. Just trying not to give away that fraction of a second where High Tide stays up, like right now. That was stressful to watch. Yeah, I thought I got gifted a card as well. Yes, 100% agree, Axel. Super, super true. So you're representing Crumb and Get It. Let's just make you show it. Mouse Trapper? Mouse Trapper? Well, I guess I'll High Stride to keep a guy. It makes it trade though, so. But I feel like keeping this is good. I just have so much interaction with Pawn Profit. Technically the High Stride would be nice to be able to block Mouse Trapper. Technically, High Stride would be nice to be able to block Mouse Trapper and survive, but I feel like it's worth just, yeah, just like keep a Pawn Profit around. Like if I draw The 3/3 that bounces something, Clement, the other 3/3 that bounces something. I have 3 of those. Splash, Lily Splash Mentor again. I'm really gonna want to have a Pawn Prophet lying around, so I think it's worth keeping it there. Yeah, that was an amazing game. I mean, this has been a totally awesome draft. I'm really happy with this draft. So I'm gonna go ahead and give them a tap fish to lock down that Rush Shield Rampager and just stay living. Technically, yeah, it gives them some value here. Oh, I can play Helga. I cannot. Oh, I can actually play the Bodyguard. I could play a 4/3. Do I just play a 4/3 here, or do I just want to level up the Wild Guides? Kind of feel like just leveling up the Wild Guides. I think making those guys big is really good. I think that's just better than playing Fountainport Bell and the Bushy Bodyguard. Like later, like it's not going to take me too long. This is such a combat focused deck. It's not going to take me too long to have some creatures die and play Mind Spiral, play Fountainport Bell, end up with 2 things in the bin, and then I get just more value out of the Bushy Bodyguard. And mana is no longer a big constraint for me. And the thing is, pushing Tender Wild Guide to the point that I have a 5/5 and a 4/4 is going to be really advantageous. Okay, in response, I'll tap it. And I'll tap it. Didn't really do much. Like, they do get extra damage out of it, but yeah, no, playing against a super aggro deck, I could be in danger. Oh, hello, Galen Moose. Okay, I don't hate that guy. So actually, can I play Helga, play a land, and play Galen Moose? No. So maybe what I want to do is just stabilize then. Play a land, play the Bushy Bodyguard. If I play it for 2, though, it's so freaking obvious what I'm doing. It's a little awkward. I just want to save up for the Moose. I think let's just not do anything. It looks so suspicious. It looks so ridiculously suspicious, but I guess the other thing I could do is like Mind Spiral, tap down Rush Shield Rampager. That doesn't feel very good. You know what? It's obvious, but it's just better. I think I'm going to go for it. I think I'm going to go for this. I think I'm just going to do this without... Like, the reason that I'm doing this is like, I do need to put resources on the board. It's so obvious to them that something's going on because I didn't offspring this when I have 6 mana up. But that thing I said about mana dorks, I just don't think this puts your mind in Galewind Moose. If I'm on their side right now, maybe this just means I'm a bad player, but like, if I'm on their side of this interaction, I'm thinking about 4 mana plays that I'm playing around at this point. So I think if they successfully read that there's a Moose on the loose, then good job to them. Here I am specifically going to block Pileated Provisioner so that Crumb and Get It doesn't kill me. Because Come and Get It and make this indestructible would kill my Moose, and then I think I'm pretty much dead. This is a little bit weaker if they kill the Galewind Moose, but the thing is, I do have Mind Spiral, which I'm going to use right now to just lock down the Rush Shield Rampager. I do regret not getting the Helga down before I played my Moose, but I think this is just worth it. So go ahead and lock that guy down. Draw 3. Oh, that's pretty sweet. So I can copy my Moose. Don't mind if I do. I can also now play a Sticky Tongue Sentinel if I want to, but I think or even Shoreline Looter, like I just have so many good options. That's the curse of this deck. But I think actually what I want to do is play Helga, because then next turn, if I copy the Moose, it's just so good. And then rather than playing Fountainport Bell, I'm going to hold back the Tender Wild Guide in case I need blockers. And I'm definitely not attacking with the Galewind Moose here. I don't want to trade that for just a Rush Shield Rampager because it just kills a Rush Shield Rampager on defense. Oh, if you kill my Galewind Moose, that's really bad for me. I guess, though, I can still Mockingbird Rush Shield Rampager. That is really bad for me if you kill the Galewind Moose in this situation. Hivespine Wolverine. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, but you just kind of have to, like, sometimes you just have to make the opponent have it. If they had a Polywall up there, like, you know, that sucks for me, but I don't really think I was able to be super precious with my resources here and, like, hold back Helga and stuff. Basically, it's like if Helga gets online, I'm not saying I automatically win the game or anything, but now I definitely feel ahead. I feel very stable in this situation, knock on wood, obviously. So I think it's kind of a lot to ask them. I think it's a good situation to just ask them to have it, you know? So I'm going to pay X = 5 and make a Moose, draw card. Sounds kind of awesome, doesn't it? Make a Moose, draw card. I would like a flying Moose, please, not just the ground kind of a Moose. Go ahead and play an Uncharted Haven for green, I guess, because I already played my white spell. You know, I guess I could have tapped Helga for that Moose and then done more stuff with my life, but maybe just playing... I don't know if I want to play Baker's Bane Duo here. I actually think I probably just want to play the Shoreline Looter. I think it's really good to start drawing cards. And Baker's Bane Duo, I kind of like the idea of concealing that I have life gain. And Shoreline Looter can always chump. So I think this is fine. I have like a massive value engine in Clement plus Pond Prophet plus Sticky Tongue Sentinel if Clement dies. No, they're going very wide on me, but I'm feeling perfectly okay about that. No, this is totally sweet. This is Magic the way it was meant to be played. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Don't you love Bloomburrow? This is just such a fun way of playing Magic cards. It's like everyone is playing like very responsible, reasonable, straightforward decks. And I'm just trying to, I don't know, do complete nonsense. And it's a format where it's very rewarding to try to do that. I'll pitch the bell. I don't really need that. I mean, I'm not the only one trying to do nonsense. A good number of us were trying to do nonsense in Bloomburrow. And then I'll go ahead and play the Pawn Prophet again. Yeah, sure, we can tap like that. That's fine. Draw a card. See, this is just so awesome. This is just so awesome. Go ahead and play a Baker's Bane Duo, and then I hold up the Dazzling Denial, which has been just weirdly good in my deck. Also holding up the ability to crack my food if I need to. All right. Just don't board wipe me, please. That's my only ask. If you board wipe me, I'm going to be very sad. Looks like a very aggressive deck. This would be a really weird deck to be playing the board wipe in, even more than the one that we got board wiped by. This is such a play to the board deck. I guess their curve is a little bit high. A lot of 4-drops and 5-drops. So maybe that could suggest they're playing a slightly slower, more mid-rangey game. For the common good, what the heck is this? What would you do? Make X tokens that are a copy of a creature. So you make 3 tokens. They gain indestructible, and then you gain 4 life. See, this card is not even good in this situation is the thing. Like, anyways, I'll just Dazzling Denial it, because when else are they going to tap out? That's not really a card that you want to be playing in draft. I think it's more of like a commander card. All right, tap the Tender Wild Guide. No shade to the opponent. You know, it's just not exactly where you want to be in a Bloomburrow draft. Go ahead and bounce a Pawn Prophet, and yeah, maybe also bounce a Baker's Bane Duo. Get some more life. Double bounce, play the Pawn Prophet. This is too awesome. This is too awesome. All right, Lily Splash Mentor. That's what I'm talking about. Did I forget to put a counter on my Tender Wild Guide? I was too busy ribbing them. Good-natured ribbing over there for the common good. In with these two. And we're pretty much representing GG. Because they have to start blocking with the Rush Shield Rampager soon. So I'll go ahead and pitch an island, I suppose. And then I think I do recast the Baker's Bane Duo, because worst case scenario, I can pop 2 foods. And again, I mean, look, if they have the board wipe and they top deck it, that's just good on them. Good on them if that happens. Good on them. Corpseberry Cultivator, not going to do it here. So they're going to have to start chumping with Galewind Moose. This has been totally awesome. I love this deck. This is a kind of a draft deck where it's like, I want to play with this more than I'll get to in one event, right? Even the game that we lost was super close and we were getting like ridiculous value out of everything. Yeah, I think that concession makes sense because I'm about to put them down to 3 HP and I have an unblockable card, and then I'm going to have a 6/6 Trampler in the air. It's a bit much to fight your way back from. The only downside of this kind of a deck is it's so far taken an hour and 3/4 to fight through 5 games. So if we trophy, we're going to be here for a good long while. But hey, thank you, my friends, for being on this journey with me. All right. Let's see what we get in our last few games. I am concerned. This is kind of the part of the event that I was talking about where, you know, things start to go a little bit hairier for these extremely value-oriented decks. You do kind of end up in these like really tough situations where people have like the absolute dream, like lizards curve out. And that can just be extremely, extremely hard to fight your way through. When you're playing a deck that really goes off on turn 14 or whatever, whenever we've really started stabilizing and turning the tables. A lot of decks in Bloomburrow are doing good stuff way before that. And here, unfortunately, unfortunately for us, definitely a mulligan, but this hand is totally keepable. I'll probably just put back 1 pawn profit. I'm going to use the Uncharted Haven for green in this situation. Opponent is on white, which may be a fast white deck. Yeah, I'm getting lots of play. I already made back my gems, so can't complain on that front, and this was definitely good value. So do I drop the Tender Wild Guide? I think my question there is, does it accelerate me into the Moose? I think no, because I want the food and I want the stats. I want more stats on the board, a card that I don't mind getting into combat, because they could very well be about to play, like, I don't know, the 3-2 Raccoon or the 3-2 Flash Mouse. Like, there are lots of situations where I'm just going to want to have a 2-2. Mabel. Oh, this is an amazing card. This is an amazing card. Mabel is one of those cards that's very hard to win against. I think our main hope against Mabel is to just get my Shoreline Moose online. The thing is, it gets Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. So they're attacking for... Suppose they play a 4-drop, then they're attacking... Then they... Or no, I guess suppose they play a 2-drop and equip it. So that would be like on average 3 power. Then they're attacking for 7 next turn. That's why Mabel is such a problem. I guess I'll play Shoreline Looter. Maybe it's... I think on turn 4 I play the Wild Guide. If I play the Wild Guide this turn, then I only have 5 mana next turn, so not enough to moose it up. Maybe I just play Pawn Profit as a chump blocker, actually, and see if I can draw into something a little bit better. I actually like that plan. Shoreline Looter is nice and all, but I don't think playing 1/1s that can't block is really the secret to success in this very risky situation. This does mean that this does mean they can't attack with Mabel, or they have to equip Mabel, right? Because I'll double block Mabel in a heartbeat here. I do not want to be precious with these creatures. Oh, are they missing a land drop so that they can't equip Crag Flame to Warren Elder? Back in the old days, when I was newer at Magic and the set had just come out, I came up with all these awesome ways of exploiting Mabel and like doing all sorts of flickering, bouncy, amazing shenanigans. I'm not going to attack. There's like no way. And then I realized Crag Flame is legendary, so you can't even copy Crag Flame. Like, I was thinking of For the Common Good, that token copier that my opponent played on me last game. Oh, wow. Okay, but they're not mice. Never mind. I thought this was going to be 3 2/2s, but they're rabbits, of course, so Mabel does not buff them. I'm getting really lucky against this Mabel. Okay. Oh, I'll snap. I'll eat your Crumb and Get It. They're representing Crumb and Get It. I'll eat it because I would rather I get into combat with Crumb and Get It right now compared to when I have Galewind Moose. So that's like a 1-for-1, basically, of Crumb and Get It on Baker's Bane Duo, and the Baker's Bane Duo left behind a food, so it's not even that bad. All right, so, and now we're going to just look totally innocent and not do anything, and I'm going to moose it up, for sure. This is the moose turn. But they could even, like, play a 3-drop equip and, like, crash in for 1 billion. But we'll see. I mean, if my moose sticks, that's the thing about the moose. It can just totally stabilize a game entirely on its own. It looks like they don't have enough to equip Crag Flame and also activate the Warren Elder, so it's tough for them to... Oh, what's this? I'm a little confused about this. This definitely looks like they have a combat trick, but I'll risk my Tender Wild Guide. They must have a combat trick here because they're putting their Warren Elder in danger. The question is, do I actually just block Warren Elder to play around Crumb and Get It? Because next turn I can Mind Spiral their Mabel. I actually don't hate it. Take a little bit of extra damage. Actually, maybe I'll just block the Life Creed Duo then. No, I want to block the Warren Elder. It's actually probably a better card than Mabel. The more defensive, more committal block would be put Galewind Moose in front of Mabel, block Mabel with the Tender Wild Guide, and put a counter on it before damage. But I really think they have another combat trick. This is the kind of a deck that plays 1 million combat tricks. Oh, I don't hate High Stride. This is definitely the kind of a deck that plays 1 million combat tricks. Can I attack with Galewind Moose? No, probably not. I don't want to get Crumb and Get It. Crumbed and Get It. I need to figure out how to say that card name. All right, I'll play Sticky Tongue Sentinel, no bounces. Play Shoreline Looter. I'm just playing scared here. But I'm feeling not so bad. Like I have another reach creature, right? I feel like we've kind of caught back up with this Mabel, don't you? I think we're pretty stable. I'm expecting one of these cards is a combat trick, and one of them maybe is like a more expensive creature, like a 5-drop or something, or 6-drop. They could have like, I don't know, the lizard that exiles something and you can play it until your end step, like that kind of a thing. 4 plus drop that takes a little bit of extra juice to get it to have value. But you know, I managed to stay at 15 and I have effectively with the food, and I have draw spell. I have actually some attacks perhaps. Okay, so this is really interesting. I will block, and let's just get that Crumb and Get It out of your hand. Let's just get that Crumb and Get It out of your hand. I wonder if they gift me. They probably do. So we were very right. So they've made their decision already, right? Well, let's just let this resolve and make sure I read everything correctly. We were very right to not get into that combat last turn. So we managed to get the Crumb and Get It out of their hand, and the Moose survived. So really, really happy with how this went. Actually, I think I probably was supposed to tap the other Wild Guide and not trust the Arena Auto Tapper. How did they gain life? How did they gain or lose life this turn? It doesn't have lifelink. I missed how that happened. Oh, Life Creed Duo did it, of course, okay. So let's go ahead and Mind Spiral them. I will gift them a tap fish to lock something down, right? I might as well lock down Mabel. Can I attack 3? No, I don't really. I could attack with the Tender Wild Guide, perhaps. That's actually not that bad. Actually, okay, now that I think about it, do I start with the Shoreline Looter? I'm not that close to dead. I want to have 2 mana back to pop a food if need be, but I can do that with the other Tender Wild Guide in my forest. So, okay, all right. I'll lock down Mabel. They can always put the... Oh, yeah, they do gain a life, but it doesn't trigger their Star Charter. That happened to us in a previous game. It doesn't trigger their Star Charter because the creature enters on my turn. Okay, that's really interesting. So I think I'll go in with Tender Wild Guide and Shoreline Looter here. Holding back, I still have a land that I can loot away, so playing the land didn't really matter. And then I have a Galewind Moose next turn, so even if my Moose dies, it's not the worst. Actually, after drawing that Galewind Moose, I probably was supposed to attack with the Moose, wasn't I? Although, I don't know, I want to be a little bit defensive when they have their Crag Flame. Okay, killing Star Charter is something I'm very happy with. I do not mind that whatsoever. I don't really need Tender Wild Guide for the stats, to be honest with you. So, draw this, pitch a forest. Ugh, this Bushy Bodyguard is so awkward with Shoreline Looter. So maybe I actually do just play the Bushy Bodyguard and forage once. That kind of seems good. Better than holding up a food. I don't think I'm on death's doorstep here. Actually, yeah, I have plenty of opportunity to get more cards in the bin. So I think, yeah, let's exile it from the graveyard. Looting is perfectly fine for me. I think I'd rather have the 3 life than just start drawing a card over looting. Is that true? No way. 15 versus 18. Nah, I'm playing chicken if I do that. Let's start getting value. The way that we win is through value, by drawing like Splash Lasher and that kind of a thing. So they can give something +1/+1. It's not that big a game at this point, right? Because other creatures are small. They can also give something 2 +1/+1s here. They offspring it, so something gets 2 +1/+1s. They put Crag Flame on something, but I don't think they can attack. I don't read this as another combat trick. We've already gotten rid of 2 Crumb and Get It's out of their deck. How many Crumb and Get It's can you possibly play, my friend? How many can you play? That's my question for you. Are they going to put it on the Intrepid Rabbit and attack me? Then I think it's a pretty easy double block. I'm just going to double block here. No, they actually get to kill 2 creatures that way. Okay, I'll block with Galewind Moose. They're never going to expect the second Galewind Moose. Yeah, I didn't think about them getting to play the Intrepid Rabbit and attack with the Intrepid Rabbit. That's a good point. That's a good point. But okay, I'll go in with these 2. Again, just no sense playing chicken. I assume they'll take it. If I'm them, I'm taking it in a heartbeat. Oh, chump block. Yeah, that also makes sense. Like, you don't need to go wide when you have Crag Flame. You're going tall. Draw a card and discard, but this is the last time. Oh, no, not because my Moose died. I have 7 in the bin. Nice. Okay, so Moose and 2 left over. I don't hate it. They'll never expect the second Moose, right? Hopefully this is not another Come and Get It. Pileated Provisioner. No problem. You can have that. That's A-okay by me. No worries. You can... No? Okay, yeah, got it. Yeah, got it. They put the counter on that. Put the counter on Mabel. Give that guy haste. Attackers. Moose number 2, my friends. This is so awesome. This is too awesome. Moose number 2. Pass to blockers. Block the 4/5. Do I kill Mabel here? I kind of want to. I don't hate having a reach creature, though. A backup reach creature for if they start putting things on Life Creed Duo. I don't think I make the trade. I think I'll take the 4. I think that's all right. I'd rather have the 4 right now than lose my reach creature. Now, I think maybe I actually just put the counter on the Wild Guide. I think 2/2 is a big game. Probably more important than the difference between 8 life and 11 life. Then I get to attack, attack, attack. I'm probably going to want to block with Bushy Bodyguard, but the thing is, I can bounce the Bushy Bodyguard and recast it, but I don't have the ability to forage there. So, okay, I'll just go in with these two. I think. It's kind of cowardly, don't you think? Yeah, let's go in with 3. Because I have an opportunity to draw a card, I can gain life, and Galen Moose has Vigilance, so I don't think I need the Bushy Bodyguard as a blocker. And the difference between 7 damage on attackers and 11 damage on attackers here, I think is really big. I think that's really big. So in, very good. Draw a card, see what we get. Oh, that's kind of nothing, but okay, at least I'm getting these out of my deck at a pretty rapid pace. Clement can bounce Bushy Bodyguard, but then I turn Shoreline Looter back into just a looter. That's actually fine because I have 1 trillion lands to loot, so I really don't mind that. So I'll go ahead and Offspring this guy, and I'll exile maybe 3 cards instead of 6 cards. Nah, let's get multiple chunky creatures. I'm actually gonna... This definitely makes my my Shoreline Looter worse, but I think looting is pretty equivalently good to draw a card here. And I think it's better to do it this way and keep the food, because who knows, I could end up pretty low. But I think just putting the stats on the board is absolutely worth it compared to just going all in on Value Town with Shoreline Looter. I think what hurt them is that they haven't gotten any ability out of the Lord, any utility out of the Lord ability of Mabel. The fact that it gives all of your mice +1/+1 is a big part of what makes Mabel really good. Right? And so the fact that they haven't actually gotten any mice with it makes it worse. So I don't know, maybe they just got really unlucky and didn't draw the mice half of their deck. Oh yeah, another Galewind Moose. Well, I have to do that, right, folks? This is why we're playing Mockingbird. Another Galewind Moose coming down the line. I mean, this is the kind of a play where it's like, yeah, you know, given that there is a white board wipe, maybe I don't have to do this level of egregious nonsense. Do I just attack with everything? I don't think so. But it's like, is this going to be the deck that plays a board wipe? Mabel, Life Creed Duo, Triple Rabbit, Star Charter, Warren Elder, hop to it, you know? I don't think they're on the board wipe plan. We definitely hold our lands back. And I do have a bird, so actually Dazzling Denial could counter the board wipe in this situation, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now it couldn't. Now they have enough mana that they could play the board wipe with counter protection. Triple Moose game. That's right. That's exactly right. This was the Triple Moose victory we've been dreaming of. So I guess if I trophy without losing another game, then I do hit Mythic. I was foolish, or not Mythic, I'm sorry, Diamond, getting ahead of myself. We're 6 days after the rank reset, so fighting my way out of Platinum right now. Yeah, so like, I kind of thought I would do like multiple drafts in an hour, maybe like 2 drafts in 2 hours, I mean, 1 draft per hour. But instead, in my total delirium, I have managed to draft myself into the most complicated deck ever, and we are not even done 1 draft in 2 hours. So thank you, Axel, for sticking with me. This has been a heck of a live stream. Ton of fun to say goodbye to Bloomburrow with such an amazing deck. Not even that it's such a good deck or such a powerful deck. It's more just like so much magic per gems and so many decisions. I also personally revel in Magic where you are like behind and then stabilize. And like one thing going wrong can put you back on your back foot and have you losing again. All right. So we could get how many more games out of this deck? This is a super keep. I really want to play Shoreline Looter, and then making a flying unblockable Shoreline Looter. That's just really everything I ever wanted to do in my life. By the way, there is something to be said if you have a lot of flickering going on and you're in a highly aggressive deck, or bouncing to your hand rather, and you're in a highly aggressive deck. Playing Mockingbird on turn 1 is not the worst, right? You get some board presence, and then you can bounce it later to copy something. So here, oh man, this is all I ever wanted to do. In with this guy, probably pitching the Bushy Bodyguard rather than pitching a land. And then drop a Mockingbird for 2, copying my Shoreline Looter. Oh, this is just This is just awesome. This is everything I ever wanted to do in Magic cards. This is so cool. Oh, yeah. This is awesome. Harvest Right Host. Okay, we're playing against a very aggressive deck that has no time for our silly nonsense. All right, well, I'm just going to play Splash Slasher next turn. It obviously would have been nice to have a counterspell up for Harvest Right Host. That's an incredibly, incredibly good card. Draw this, pitch a land probably. Draw this, pitch another land. I mean, the Galewind Mooses are so compelling. Maybe I'll pitch Dazzling Denial. I'm not sure I really have time for that kind of magic. You know, the turn for Dazzling Denial was last turn. Technically, it is counter unless they pay 4. Oh, actually, you know what? I should have locked down the Jolly Gerbils because, like, no way are they going to try to trade off a Harvest Right Host unless they definitely have a Crumb and Get It, in which case I can't block Jolly Gerbils. Okay, actually, no. It actually worked out this time. It saved me a 1 point of damage. All right, well, I'll take it. I will take it. All right, we're almost on Moose. We're almost on Moose time. Ugh, Bushy Bodyguard. I should have cut that card from my deck, honestly. It's so awkward in my deck. But okay, we get to loot it away. I do want the other land. Yeah. Maybe I pitch the non-land and keep... Okay, here I'll pitch a land because Baker's Bane Duo is a really good card. That's just really good for me. Getting a food seems really important, and then I play a land. And then we're on, hopefully, the Moose plan next turn. The idea is that we get in for 2. We do still loot, but then after this, we're just drawing 2 more every turn. I just need to survive. That's all it is. I just straight up need to survive, and hopefully the Moose helps me survive. So I definitely am going to crack my food at the end of this turn, putting me at 14 effectively. You know what? There's a cat emergency. A cat has been shut out of the room. I'm gonna have to let the cat in for just 1 second. I'll be back in 1 second. Come on in, Pando. Let's go. Thank you. All right. The cat rescue operation was wildly successful. Cat has been let back into the room. My opponent has played a Flowerfoot Swordmaster with an Offspring, giving something plus a bunch, plus a bunch. I might just be chump blocking at this point. Don't you think? Like, oh no, I'm sorry. The Flowerfoot Swordmaster is not a rabbit. It's a mouse. Why am I confusing mice and rabbit so much? I guess they're both, like in real life, they're both really small animals. No attacks. That is kind of surprising to me. All right, so Shoreline Looter team is going to get in there, and hopefully we'll find a land, and then that land is going to get us some mooses. The cat's name is Pando. Hopefully he will be joining us in a moment here. Pitch the Pawn Prophet. Play a forest. Right now he's drinking some water out of the fountain behind me. He definitely likes to climb all over me during recordings. So that's one of his favorite things to do. Okay, we're currently on Shoreline Looters are going to start drawing us an extra card every turn. Extra 2 cards every turn. So we're at the point in the game where we can see stabilization. The opponent did not attack last turn, which I always love to see against an aggro deck. If we land a Galewind Moose and they kill it somehow, we have another Galewind Moose to back it up. I just need to stem the bleeding. I am not at all averse to chump blocking here, if that's what it comes down to. But I'm definitely just going to get this Moose into combat. No reason not to. I could double block, but that just offers them a card for free. And the main combat trick that they could have, Crumb and Get It, cannot kill my Moose. Oh, they could have destroyed target creature of toughness 4 or greater. Polywallop. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I think I double block in order to stabilize. Just stay stable. Trade a 3/3 for a 3/4 seems fine. The double looters is so awesome. This is like, you know, drop me into this situation. You know, chess grandmasters have this thing where it's like, what side would you rather take? What side would you rather play in this position? Just drop me onto like a board and they'll be like, black is better. And I'd rather be, you know, the black player in this spot. Here, it's like, who would you rather be? The person with Jolly Gerbils, Harvest Right Host, a million little 1/1s, Tree Guard Duo, some First Strike Lifelinker, you have more HP, just as many cards? Or do you want to be this dirtily fool over here with double Shoreline Looter and a 2/2? And I'm like, yeah, all day, every day, I'll take the double Shoreline Looters because my hope is that I've packed my deck with good enough cards that I can just survive in this situation. So this looks so suspicious. so suspicious. But I'm just going to hold up my other Galewind Moose. There was no way I was going to be blocking with those Shoreline Looters, right? So we didn't really have much of a decision to make. It's just so obvious here that we are planning something. And because, oh, Harvest Right Host with triple rabbits. No, that's awesome. This is an amazing uncommon level synergy in the format, by the way, right? Like a really, really strong synergy. But hopefully we've kept our life total at a point where we're not going to get crushed. Probably I'll block. Well, if they attack with Harvest Right Host, that's what I'm blocking. Wow, everything is so huge now. Yeah, but we just have to commit the moose. Like, it's so obvious that I have something here because I drew a million cards and didn't do anything when I had a bunch of mana up, and they've just been looking at a Galewind Moose, so they're probably thinking about Galewind Moose. But how do you even play around it here? It's so clear that the opponent is supposed to attack with everything. Now, they could have +3/+3, Indestructible, and Trample. So I may want to try playing around that, which would suggest I should not block the Stoat. So perhaps, no, but the problem is then whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever they block would survive the combat. So I think I do this. I'm taking so much damage, so 11 damage. So maybe Harvest Right Host gets to survive and I block the Swordmaster. That's probably correct. And blocking the first striker seems good. But yeah, if they have +2/+2 Trample and Indestructible, I die. Okay, they didn't have it. All right, I go down to 4. I don't know if we're going to live here. It's looking quite bad, isn't it? I probably have to be... Oh, yeah, and then you can Oak Hollow Village. Yeah, no, I'm cooked. But hey, we put up a really good fight. Hop to it was just too much, right? So I can put 2 creatures on the board. What happens? If I put 2 creatures on the board, I have to hold back to block. And then I have to block all except... any, so this creature can get through and it's fine, but then any 2 others kill me, or that plus Harvest Right Host. So I think I actually just have to try to draw some creatures, right? I guess I could have attacked with the Galewind Moose now that I think about it, because if they triple block, that's actually really good for me. So that was a mistake. Oh, 2 lands. Are you kidding me? I guess now I suppose I could play the Fountainport Bell and cycle that. It's not quite as committal. And then if I draw a creature that makes a food or something, maybe I can survive. No, I think we lost. If I drew some creatures here, I might actually have gotten there. 1, 2. So play a land and I have 6 to play around with, but it costs 7. Nah, we died. So attacking with the moose, not attacking with the moose was a mistake. But what killed us was hop to it, plus Harvest Right Host, plus the mice that get a bunch of extra stuff when you target them, plus Oak Hollow Village. It was kind of like they had the perfect storm lined up, so good on them for packing their deck with awesome synergy. I guess I might as well draw some cards just to see what happens. But I don't think there's anything that we can have here. Yeah, okay. No, I needed to, if I'd drawn, so I had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I'd drawn 2 creatures, I could have blocked, block, and survived, and actually maybe pulled it out. Drawing 1 creature probably wasn't enough to do it. Or like, but like a creature and a removal spell or 2 creatures, I actually think I could have survived. So yeah, I mean, I think we were pretty stable. It's just that they had like extremely good synergy at the end there. All right, so now we're 5 and 2. Hey, we made our gems back. We got way more than our value in terms of cards. If you are just joining me, I am sick today, so I'm definitely fighting through some brain fog here. And I, of course, on the day that I have brain fog, I made sure to draft the most complicated Simic, Splashing Bant, Value Engine Froggies deck that you possibly could ever draft. Okay, so they can level this up. Okay, this is the one where, right, this is like some really, really complicated build around. They very well could have the dream scenario though, with like sacrificing a bunch of foods and making me sacrifice a bunch of stuff. So you sacrifice a permanent, target player mills 2, and then you can sacrifice 3 permanents to bring a creature back with a finality counter. Yeah, that's right. While I was getting the looters going, they were absolutely going off in their hand, putting synergy on synergy on synergy. The looters were sweet though. I had fun while it lasted. I mean, you know, I think with slightly better draws, if I had slightly better draws or they had slightly worse draws, I think it could have gone the other way. I would enjoy playing a best of 3 against that deck. I think we could have had a really good interactions. Here I think I do actually put a plains on top, and then maybe I just play the Bushy Bodyguard and crack my food. I kind of like this line. So I'll take the action, grab a plains, pop it on top, play Bushy Bodyguard, forage the food away, and get a 4/3, and I'm not attacking. And then I can play Helga into, hopefully into Junkblade Bruiser. And if I get stuck on lands, I can always bounce my Fountainport Bell with Sticky Tongue Sentinel. So it's looking good. Pretty much as predicted, once you get up to like 5, this is exactly what I was talking about in Bloomburrow. Oh, what do you have? Overprotect? Maybe let's just do a kind of a cowardly block and see what they have. If you want to spend your combat trick here, that's fine. Basically, this is what I was talking about. In Bloomburrow, once you get up to like a lot of wins, you really start facing extremely good decks. So like a really tuned version of the best animal archetype. The last one was also a really tuned version of a good animal archetype. That's really what starts happening. So these like extremely value-oriented 3-color decks don't really keep you. Okay, the opponent is stuck on lands. They don't really keep you running past a certain point. So I'll go in with the Bushy Bodyguard, might as well. And then I think I do just play Helga. And then probably, I don't think I'll bounce the Sticky Tongue Sentinel and Fountainport Bell. That would be a way of guaranteeing hitting Junkblade Bruiser. But the problem with that is then I wouldn't have Helga in play, so I don't even really care about the Junkblade Bruiser. And hopefully in the top 2, I have 1 land. If I have 1 land in the top 2, then I can crack Fountainport Bell at the end of turn, draw next turn, play a land. I already have my double green, so it can be any untapped land. And then I get to play my Junkblade Bruiser, put a counter on Helga, gain 1 life, draw a card. And then I kind of feel like we're off to the races, because then I'll be ahead on the board and ahead in value, kind of on par in value. I will say, though, the opponent has been stockpiling food on food on food. There's no 1 black mana trick here that 1 black mana combat trick here that they could have, but there is a untapped Rudy Tooty, so they could always hit me with something. Okay, well, sometimes you just don't have. Sometimes in life, you just don't have the land. However, Helga can tap to play the Junkblade Bruiser. That's probably better than the Splash Slasher. So do I do this before combat? No real reason. Like, the other thing that I could do is play my High Stride if they double block me. Kind of like the idea of putting some pressure on them to actually pop. Okay, so then in that case, I'll just High Stride this guy. You could have Overprotect or something. But then I think I still get to kill a creature, right? So Polywallop wouldn't do it here. It is Overprotect. Okay, so they're just protecting their mana dork, but I get to kill a Bonebind Orator. And then I know this is rude. I know this is rude. You make a food. I know this is a rude thing to do. Oh no, I can't Splash Slasher this because of it gets hexproof. So I should have actually done that before combat, I guess, if this was my plan. Oh, that's pretty annoying. I guess I just play Sticky Tongue Sentinel. Oh yeah, that's really bad actually. But okay, I mean, I get more value this way if I draw a land next turn. I could bounce a land and recast it, but I have no reason to do that. So if I draw a land next turn, I get to Offspring my Splash Slasher, but this does mean that they get to play their 5-drop. Yeah, so I guess in retrospect, I played that turn in the wrong order. Should have done it a little bit differently for sure. But okay, I really don't hate my position here. I have so much value in my hand, particularly with Helga, but also the fact that I've got my Mind Spiral to refill my hand, Splash Lasher for tempo, Junkblade Bruiser is just a really high value or high stats card. And the thing is, they've played like most of their stuff at this point, right? Oh, they have a Husk Burster Swarm that they can bring back. Yeah, that's pretty annoying. I'm going to need some answer to that at some point. I'm going to need some answer to that. And wow, I just cannot draw a land for the life of me. This is, well, this is Magic cards. I guess I'll play the Bruiser to just put some stats on the board. Yeah, pretty frustrating to just never see a land when I'm like 1 mana off from Splash Slashing. Okay, well, there's a land. All right. Can't hate that, can you? So next turn I get to Offspring the Splash Slasher. Lock down. I think we're past the point where the mana dorks matter all that much, right? My idea is like they have a bunch of mana dorks, but well, I guess they can keep looking for squirrels, can't they? And the Scavenger's talent is pretty sweet with the Corpseberry Cultivators. I'll give them that for sure. When you sack a creature, I mill 2. Okay, so you said you look like the dirtiest person I've ever seen in my life. So I'm going to make us go to decking and you're going to lose on decking. That's what they said to me. It was brutal. They said it to me and it was brutal. Okay. All right. Corpseberry Cultivators are getting locked down and we're going to say, you know what? This game is not going to decking. I'm attacking as much as I possibly can. Yep, this is totally brutal. I mean, I definitely feel very far behind. I'm just going to try to take over the beatdown role. Maybe I actually leave one of their corpse spray cultivators unlocked. No, I don't think so. What are they going to do with this Thornfall Forager? They were thinking of activating it. We just spent so long, unfortunately, off of our lands. Maybe I actually do this 2 blue. 2 blue, tap this, tap, and tap 1. And then I'll play this guy with Offspring. Then we gave them a lot of opportunity to go off with Scavenger's Talent is a very powerful card, but it's a very slow card in a very fast set. But that doesn't really matter if your opponent is someone so dirtily like me, so dirtily like me, that they're putting you under absolutely no pressure. And that's what we've done here is we put the opponent under basically no pressure for the longest time, and we let their very powerful cards start to take over the game. So it's definitely time to start expressing a point of view about how this game is going to end. And the way I want this game to end is drawing Splash Lasher or Lily Splash Mentor with Splash Lasher out was a pretty wonderful find, because it means that we can start flickering our Lily Splash Mentor. I believe we can actually do it twice next turn because we're going to have 7 mana. I can tap Helga and a land to play the Lily Splash Mentor, double flicker the Splash Lasher, and I will have expended 4, and I will start crashing in for damage. Yes, they didn't mill the Mentor. That's true. They milled a bunch of random stuff. Mockingbird would have been nice, but nothing else there really matters. A bunch of lands. Mind Spiral is looking pretty bad, but I mean, it can actually lock down a creature if they get their Husk Burster Swarm or something, which I'm getting much less scared about because it just takes so long for it to get online. The thing, though, is they are effectively at 13, right? It looks like they're at 7, but they can crack 2 foods. They can also do it at instant speed with their Thornvault Forager by foraging. Oh no, that's brutal. Well, now my stats are just gone. Longstock Brawl is a really good card, by the way. A really, really, really good card in the format, in my opinion. Oh, that's a nice little chump blocker as well. But hopefully, I mean, I'm really happy that they didn't use Longstock Brawl on Lily Splash Mentor. I'm sad that they had it. So you can sacrifice 3 permanents to bring back your Husk Burster Swarm. That's totally fine, but the reason I don't mind is because I have Lily Splash Mentor. Also, it does mean that you have to sacrifice your food. So it's a very committal play, So they're going to combat. Probably they don't forage here. I mean, they can mill me a little, but look, I have 18 cards left in the deck. For once in my life, I've managed to maintain a decent number of cards in my library. Okay, they're foraging out of the graveyard. Very interesting. Yeah, the Corpse Spray Cultivators are strong pieces of cardboard over there, or pieces of pixels. They got really big. Usually not a very good card, but in this context, absolutely doing a lot of work. So I need to keep up... Hold on. I need to keep up as many green and blue as possible, and I have equal numbers of each one. Well, I'm only going to do this twice, so I only need 2 of each. Okay, perfect. So I do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, for a second I was worried that I miscounted, but I did not miscount. I have exactly enough mana. Yeah, we got there. Start flickering the Splash Lasher, crush in for a bunch of damage. I don't actually agree with them that they were lost. I think that was a slightly premature concession because you can crack your food. I don't have great attacks, but I can also understand just not wanting to deal with the frustration of fighting against a Lily Splash Mentor plus Splash Lasher. So there you go. Okay, so 6 wins, 2 losses. We have 1 more game. For those of you who haven't seen the deck, we are running a whole bunch of Frog Dirtily Goodness. Basically, it's a pretty classic green-blue value-oriented deck, but we have Helga on the splash and double Galewind Moose, Lily Splash Mentor and Splash Lasher as a nice synergy, and Junkblade Bruiser to close out games, and also to reward us when we have the Helga. So this is a very important game. If I win, I trophy. If I lose, I do not trophy. And there are 400 gems on the line. So hopefully we can get there. All right. On to the last game. This is what I get for drafting the most value-oriented deck ever. It's the slowest draft ever. But this has been a dramatic one. Lots of magic for our gems. And I think I'm just going to open with Tender Wild Guide rather than slow rolling it as I usually do. We are in the don't screw around bracket of 4 wins. Actually, look at this though, Fireglass Mentor. You know what blocks Fireglass Mentor really well? Pawn Prophet. So I think I actually do drop the Pawn Prophet here. as much as I would like to play the Tender Wild Guide, play Helga, play Splash Lasher, hopefully we'll get to do all of that sweetness eventually, but I don't want to get hit with a Fireglass Mentor and just lose on the spot. So here, I think I play a land and hold up for Dazzling Denial, and then turn 4 I'm playing the Tender Wild Guide. Is that right? Kind of feels like if I'm playing one card next turn, I want it to be Dazzling Denial. They're going to get an extra card off of Fireglass Mentor, but sometimes in this life, your opponent gets value. Gains Menace until end of turn, does require you to actually expend a resource. You know, you're having to spend some mana. Oh, you hit a land? Oh, okay. No, that's good for them. This is the part of the game where you want to hit lands with Fireglass Mentor. And then anything they play is getting Dazzling Denial. And yeah, that is extra getting Dazzling Denial. All right, and then, ooh, Splash Lasher, or Shoreline Looter. I like that card a lot. All right, so I'm going to play the Tender Wild Guide. It's time to be able to Galewind Moose. I feel like if I can Galewind Moose, I'm in really good shape. I would love to trophy with this deck. This deck is so bonkers, silly, out of left field that to trophy with it would be a true honor. I don't need 2 Tender Wild Guides, do I? Let's just go ahead and block. I mean, if you have some combat trick, it probably doesn't give you trample. So yeah, I'll take the trade. I still have 1 left over. I got value out of that. And most importantly, the real reason that I did that, I can play Galewind Moose next turn. I'll lose the 3 life. Wait, hold on. This is at the beginning of your second main phase if an opponent lost life. I could sack the Pond Prophet. Yeah, maybe let's sack Pond Prophet and just keep our life intact. I think let's sack the Pond Prophet, actually. I don't think that guy's going to do too much work for us. So it would not have, even if I lost life, it would not have triggered the Fireglass Mentor because we were already into their second main phase. They've got to be thinking moose, 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 moose. But they didn't have a combat trick last time. At least not one that they wanted to play. We did it! We actually trophied. Wow, that was too sweet. Yeah, the moose just does that, right? And we're now back to 1 pip away from Diamond. So very nice. All right, my friends, it's been 2.5 hours and I'm sick, so I think I'm about to wrap up the stream. Thank you very much for following along with me. If you're not subscribed to the channel, of course, do go ahead and click subscribe. I do a new draft every day. Always try to explain my picks and keep a positive attitude. And we are building a community of limited improvers right here on this channel. And also, if you're not in the Discord, there's a link in the description to join the Discord. I will just pop that in here, generate a little invite link. And I will be back tomorrow with a draft. I think actually, yes, so tomorrow my draft is going to be my last draft of Bloomburrow. Technically this was, but you know, if you watch it in the order that it appears on my channel, it will be the last draft of Bloomburrow. And then the following draft, right after that, I think on Midweek Magic, there's going to be a free draft of Turtles. So here's the link to join our free community Discord. So there will be Turtles coming up on Wednesday. So I'll do that. If there's free draft on Arena, I'm obviously in. And then after that, it's going to be on to maybe like 1 or 2 drafts of MTG Foundations, depending on how the timing lines up. But I'm going to post a data deep dive on how to succeed in the Arena Direct for Bloomburrow. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to post it probably on Thursday. And then I'm going to do as many runs as possible. Thursday or maybe Friday, actually. Then I'm going to do as many runs as possible of the Arena Direct because I really want Japanese play booster boxes of Bloomburrow. Although sealed Bloomburrow, it's a tricky beast. I really don't know if I'm going to make it. It kind of kicked my butt last time. And then next week, Drafting Foundations, they're going to come out with Neon Kamigawa, one of the most popular sets of all time that I did not get to play when it came out. So I'll be drafting that. And then at the end of that week is Strixhaven. And of course, I'll be doing tons and tons of Strixhaven draft, as much as I possibly can. So thanks so much for tuning in. And so happy that I managed to trophy with this completely ridiculous, egregiously greedy 3-color deck. This just says everything about how I love to approach Bloomburrow. And until tomorrow, everyone, have tons of fun playing Magic. And